is a major accomplishment the way we've talked about this team all year long.
Would agree.
It would be a pretty impressive feat. It would only be their third bowl game at Colorado since 2007. That's a long time just to get to 6-6. So we'll see if he can get them to 6-6 or better. And boy, the projections on this Colorado team are as wide as some of the canyons up there in the Plain States.
You're right about that.
There are some people that think this team could win 7, 8, 9 and be contending in the Big 12, and there's some that thinks they're a 2, 3, 4 win team.
Well, if they go former, I think you could have your National Coach of the Year in Dion, and you could have your National Player of the Year / Heisman in Shedeur.
And most people believe Shedeur and Travis, if Shedeur and Hunter both will be off the board in the top 10 picks easily in next year's NFL draft.
If you ever wonder what Eli Holstein would have looked like in an Alabama uniform, you won't ever get to see that, but he is the starter for Pittsburgh this Saturday, Pete Thamel reports, so you see him. Yep. I don't know who they play.
Yeah, well, we can talk more about that tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America. The Meltdown's back at 2. Pennant Grace coming up in about 15 minutes.
Out the front door like a ghost into the fog where no one notices the contrast of white on white. And in between the moon and you, the angels get a better view of the crumbling difference between wrong and right. Well, I walked in the air through the rain between myself and back again where says she's dying. At the door I hear her crying. Why? I don't know. Round here you always stand up straight. Round here something radiates. Nashville with the suitcase in her hand. She said she'd like to meet a boy who looks like Elvis. She walks along the edge of where the ocean meets the land. She's like she's walking on a wire in the circus. She parks her car outside of my house and takes her clothes off. Says she's close to understanding Jesus. She's more than just a little misunderstood. She has trouble acting normal when she's nervous around here, carving out our names. Around here, we all look the same. Just like lions, but we sacrifice like lambs. Around here, she's slipping through our hands. Wrong, oh, sleeping children would let the wind out of the layman's dream. Baby mannequin herself in out of the lane. She says it's only in my head. She says shh, I know it's only in my head. The girl in the car in the parking lot says, man, you should try to take a shot. Can't you see my walls crumbling? She looks up at the building, says she's thinking of jumping, says she's tired of life. She must be
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Instant reaction to what we saw on Thursday night in college football. Interesting in some places, more interesting than some thought it would be in others. We'll get to that coming up. Set you up for a pretty interesting Friday night. At least one game looks to be a very, very close game. And then, of course, the big slate on Saturday. Still to come. Headlines. Monday's headlines today. We'll get to that coming up around 10:25 Central. All the best bets and angles from Todd Ferman when he joins us right before that at 10 Central. And the Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3 is back and rolling. It is up and available for you. You can see it right there on our website. Tyler's clicking through it. Just go to that nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Look for that Pick 3 presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. You click on it. And then Tyler's making his picks right now.
I'm not going to look. I don't want to cheat. I don't want to cheat.
He's just bouncing through them right now. You got to go 3-0. 3-0 will get you into the drawing. Get in as many times as you can throughout the year. 2-1's great, but doesn't get you in. 3-0 is what you got to do. You can go do it right now. Thanks to our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll start.
I thought Tyler was about to pick UNLV for you, so I'm like, what a sharp pick.
I do like that play.
I do too. Well, that's good news for Houston. Tyler almost picked it. All three of us like it. Yeah.
Somebody save the graphic for us. All right, we'll get into some of the pick 3 when we come back. Our picks, as always, at the end of the show as we get going. Who won it last year? It wasn't me.
I have no idea.
On the Pick 3,
It was you, Lance?
Yeah. It was Lance.
So I got upset alert. Lance got Pick 3.
Yeah.
What'd you win?
Oh, I was horrible.
Okay.
I won a T-shirt with landmine on it. All right, so we get going, and our initial reaction to last night's games brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus. Some coaches slept good last night. Some probably needed to visit our friends at CPAP Plus.
Yeah, we've told you the story about our friend. She was having problems with the insurance, couldn't get his new equipment. He went in to see the O'Neill brothers at CPAP Plus. Guess what? They made the phone calls. They connected everybody. Insurance took care of all of the equipment they needed. Don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus. See what you're actually buying. With over 200 5-star reviews on Google, the folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Visit any of those 3 convenient locations. Pelham, Highway 280, now open and trustful. Free CPAP checkup, free filters, no appointment needed. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel, with mask and supplies in stock every day. If you need it today, guess what? They've got it today. They've also got travel CPAP machines in stock. Just stop in to one of those 3 convenient locations, Google CPAP Plus, and make sure you tell them the guys from the next round sent you.
Okay, so the end of yesterday's show, we were talking about what Shedeur Sanders would have to do to win the Heisman Trophy. And Brown, I think you made a point that he couldn't do it at Colorado. And then LT said 7 wins could do it. I mentioned RG3 did it at 8-14. It does.
I think they were 9-3 technically.
9-3. Yeah. It does seem like it's more of a team award now with a quarterback on a good team. But I will tell you, starting off last night, Shedeur Sanders with 445 yards. They win 31-26. They don't win the game without him. They don't win the game without Travis Hunter. Before we get into the game, if I just asked you after one game, if the Heisman Trophy was given out after Thursday night of Week 1, if we were voting Heisman today, would it be Shedeur Sanders or would it be Travis Hunter?
I'd go Shedeur Sanders.
I would go Travis Hunter.
I'd go Travis Hunter.
I'd go Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, guys, gets hit almost every play.
Oh, look, I think watching him last night, I just want to say I think Colorado's really improved. I think North Dakota State's good.
Whoa. You think Colorado's really improved?
I do.
Well, their offensive front is no.
The offensive line is still terrible. But with all that said, they only gave up 1 sack last night.
They did, but that's because their quarterback is an absolute magician. I don't know how he gets out of them.
But, you look in the second half, I thought the defense settled down. They gave up the drive late. I don't know why you don't put somebody in that situation that actually can reach the end zone on the final throw.
I mean, the guy rotated quarterbacks with absolutely there was no rhyme or reason to why he was rotating quarterbacks.
Running quarterback in to throw it?
No, Miller's leading him right down the field. Yeah. And the first time he rotated, I didn't know that was going to be part of the game plan. And they come back from the end of the first quarter, and he's the interview. And it was, who was the sideline? I can't remember. Allison Williams, right?
Yep.
Ask him about Kim, and he goes, hey, look, Kim has been fantastic for us. He has been terrific. We just got to play better around him, all around. But Cam has been terrific for us. I can't ask more out of him. All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Gus says, all right, or the play-by-play guy. All right, Mark Jones. All right. North Dakota State's changed quarterbacks here to start the quarter. I'm like, the coach literally just said he's playing fantastic. You're beating a team.
I understand the situational where you brought in the bigger quarterback and the short yardage situations, but Cam Miller was really good.
Fantastic.
And he's a guy that's been in that system 4 years now. He had over 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, didn't turn the football over.
None.
But back to what we were discussing.
I think they're improved.
I think they're a little.
I think
improved.
I think you can make an argument they might have the best wide receiver room in college football.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Jimmy Horn Jr.
Yeah,
I think when you look at Will Shepard, underused last night, didn't really get the footwork on the sideline, on that one final drive where he stepped out. But I think Shepard is good, and obviously Travis Hunter is next level. That catch in the end zone, their final score, was crazy.
Fantastic. No, Travis Hunter's tremendous. And the question becomes always, can he hold up? Well, he held up last year. Right, I mean he plays every play.
Cheap shot knocked him out for.
Let me stop. The chat room is going nuts, saying Colorado's going to lose 8 or 9 games. They're going to lose regular. I agree. The Big 12 is that good. I'm just saying I believe this Colorado team is better than last year's Colorado team. That's all I'm saying.
Can I say they did look a little better coached by the coordinators? But what was Dion doing at the end?
You mean throwing on first down when all he's got to do is run?
I loved it because I ended up
wanted the points.
We had a winning night at lanceslog.com, but we split because we had Colorado minus the 9.5, depending on where you were shopping it. He was actually open though.
He was.
What are you doing?
Everybody thinks he's going to take a knee.
I know.
And he was wide open, and I thought maybe they did that just to cover.
Well,
I mean, that's the only reason you would do it.
Would you put it past
I
Dion?
would not put it past him. No. I also thought about the fact that if he hits that, he goes over 500 yards.
Yeah.
And
that's probably
that is one of those
anything,
milestones too. You look at the box score and you're like, damn, he had 5 touchdowns and 500 yards.
Yeah.
And this team could end up winning the FCS this year.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. North Dakota
I think they
State's
could.
Of all the opponents I watched last night, like big team playing or another team playing another team, that was one of the most quality opponents I saw, like Western Carolina. Well, we'll get all this.
Yeah.
To answer your original question, if they've got to win 7 wins to get him the Heisman, there's 0 chance. That is not a 7-win
No, but
team.
if they win 7
he could win the Heisman.
Both of those guys will be Heisman finalists if they win 7 games. Because when you look at the schedule, what is Ferman
What is Ferman saying over there? Scott,
I'm more convinced than ever. If you poll the 68 Power 4 head coaches, 98.3% of them know the spread on their games, even if they won't admit it. I don't believe in coincidences late in the game.
I agree with Ferman. I think there are, Mark Stoops is a perfect example. I mean, you watch a Kentucky game, he knows what the number is.
Oh, yeah, you've pointed that out many times. And I thought when you pointed that out the first time, it was just sour grapes out of you. But then I've watched it time and time again with him, and he plays to it.
Now, we're not insinuating anybody's illegally gambling. We're just saying that sometimes your big boosters and fans are gambling, and it makes the fan base happy.
Oh, I mean, you don't think the conversation's ever been had the night before a game, from Big Booster? I can see the guy with a cowboy hat right now that came in from Denver saying, Prime, I tell you, want you boys to win, stay healthy, but I got a hefty amount. I got 2 daughters in college, and I got a lot of money on you guys minus 9.5. Those conversations have been had. Now, whether or not, coaches really try to cover, I've seen a couple, and I agree with Ferman. I don't think it's coincidental. I think there are situations where coaches late punch it in.
If I had, let's say at mybookie.ag, like I did last night, I had Colorado minus 10.5.
Okay.
And I was like,
that's why that pass was incomplete there. Yeah. You've gotten to the bottom of it.
So I'm sitting
My
there.
favorite game was Coastal, for the record. I told you that yesterday.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, God, if I'm going to lose the bet, I just assume Colorado lose the game.
Yeah.
Better storyline. He's going to take knees here. I was doing the math in my head. Does he have to throw it? He's going to take knees here. And then he throws it, and I was like, oh, that would have been awesome. What a bad beat it would have been if you had North Dakota State.
I'll say this, too. I know it's one game, but Shedeur might be the best quarterback in college football. We always say Carson Beck.
But,
if you put Shedeur on Georgia's team, how good is he?
They'd be tremendous. I don't know who he wouldn't start for. I mean, you can say, I like Jalen Milroe better. That is fine. But you can't say he couldn't start at Alabama.
He would start at Bama.
You can say, I like Carson Beck better. That's fine. But you can't say he wouldn't start at Georgia.
Yeah, I think.
So you tell me next level. Everyone projects Carson Beck to be the first.
Well, it's going to be one of the two for sure. I mean, even before the performance last night,
so if the Rams had to have a quarterback in this draft, if
I'd rather have Shedeur.
You'd rather have Shedeur for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. The dude. I mean, do you see how accurate his passes are? And he gets no time.
He did underthrow it and hit the guy's calf for an interception in the end zone.
That was such a fluke, though.
That was a fluke. The defender dove at the receiver. The receiver stopped because the defender dove at his legs. I don't think it was necessarily a terrible pass.
Dude, time where he breaks out, pocket breaks down, he rolls left, comes back up, and he's got a guy crossing and threads the needle throws a BB. Like, I don't know a throw that he can't make. He's so athletic, and I know people over there that I'm jumping in.
No, you're right about this.
I don't.
Dave in the mybookie.ag chat room, I'm having audio issues. Did Lance just say that he's the best quarterback in college football?
I agree with Lance.
Yeah.
Do you watch the guy?
I mean, I would have told you.
I'm just reading the chat.
But I would have told you before last night that he was the second best quarterback, and he might still be. I would have gone Carson Beck. But again, Carson Beck is surrounded by so much talent. I can't wait to see him against this Clemson defense tomorrow. I'm not changing my opinion. I'm just saying I was the first, to say Colorado's going to lose 10 games this year. I just think they're improved. And I think what their defense did in the second half was more impressive to me than really. I mean, I'm not shocked that he went 445 and, that Horn Jr. and Travis Hunter had the games they had. I'm more surprised the defense was able to make adjustments in the second half and settle down.
Yeah. I'm going to ride with Pavlik and Landmine Believer here. I mean, I've seen a lot of great North Dakota State teams, and this one performed better than I thought. They were well coached and they had a plan. I'll take the field against North Dakota State to win the playoffs.
You'll take the field against North Dakota State?
Oh, I mean, I would too.
Yeah, I would. But so what do you think their record is in FCS?
I mean, they had a terrible year by their standards. They won 11 games last year, and they were.
I know. But South Dakota State, who still plays Oklahoma State this weekend, is the better Dakota right now.
Well, they may be.
Yeah, I mean, right now, maybe.
Yeah, so.
Different season, though. And that's why I believe Colorado is improved. So I will give Dion credit in that regard. It is one game, and their schedule's really difficult. And I still think, I'll go from 2-10 to 4-8 because I think the schedule's that difficult. But I was impressed, man. I mean, I've always thought Shedeur was really good. We talked about the fact he was sacked 54 times last year and still only turned the football over 3 times.
Now, they are going to get worked in primetime next week. You wait. They're going to get worked by Nebraska.
It's going to get worked by Nebraska.
In primetime.
So what have we done in the last 10 minutes?
We've talked about how great their quarterback is.
No, but I think
I don't know why does a quarterback have to be on a good team to be great?
Right.
That's what I don't get. He's on a crappy team.
Dylan Raiola might be the next great college quarterback, but if you put Shedeur on that team last year, Nebraska wins 8 games. Nebraska wins 8 games last year with that defense.
I don't understand.
They had a top 15 defense. Yeah. They were 5-7. They lost a bunch of one-possession games, and they had Jeff Sims was starting quarterback for them at times.
I don't understand this in the mybookie.ag chat room and why he can't be a great quarterback on a terrible team. That's what he is. It's 100% what he is. He's a great quarterback on a terrible team. Is that?
But in the last 10 minutes, we did say that Colorado may have the best wide receiving room in college football.
They might.
Yeah,
they might.
So it's not a terrible team then. They've got the best wide receiving room in college football and the best quarterback.
They've got a offensive line that would get anybody else just about killed.
Right.
Absolutely
I don't know why people are upset that I know everybody hates Dion right now.
Yeah, I think Jalen Milroe got sacked 36 times last year.
It was 36, but he saved a lot.
Check me on that. It was
close.
I
don't think it was 36. That's a lot of sacks.
It may have been higher.
That's David Carr.
It may have been higher. It was a lot.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think the team's improved. I still think they're going to be a 3-9, 4-8 type team. But Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. Travis Hunter is the real deal.
I mean, those are 2 of the best players in America.
Jimmy Horn Jr. is really undersized, so we'll see what his projection is at the next level. But he's got a good skill set.
Do you think if this was not FCS versus home team, I assume Big 12 officiating crew, do you think we'd ever had a push-off call on Travis Hunter last night?
No, he pushed off on one of those touchdowns. But I will say they let both officiated that properly. That wasn't the most egregious officiating. They officiated that the same on both sides. I never saw a push off. The receivers playing physical, so you let it play on both sides. So I'm okay with that. Where the officiating was egregious was at the end when they run the clock before the ball is spot. You've got no timeouts
on North Dakota State,
and they're holding the offensive line up. The ball's not spotted. The referee's back there just winding the clock.
This guy's moving it back a yard,
and they're holding the line. They can't snap it. And
absolutely.
then now there's targeting on the the next to last play, and everybody wanted that enforced. If that were enforced, the kid could at least get the ball to the end zone. Now, it's a low probability
I'll
play.
keep the color schemes kind of the same, but if this was Missouri last night playing North Dakota State, 31-26 final, and Brady Cook played like Shedeur Sanders, everybody would be raving about Brady Cook today. Everybody would.
If he had almost 500 passing yards?
Yeah, they'd be like,
Murray
damn,
State.
man, Brady Cook is good. And nobody's given this
because
team
of
credit.
race, black and white guy.
No.
You said color scheme. I didn't know what
I'm
color
talking
scheme you were
about
talking
Colorado and Missouri's color scheme.
They've got these same colored uniforms.
I mean,
I said I'm going to keep the color scheme the same.
So
and
because people are anti the Sanders?
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that's affecting this.
It is affecting
it.
100%.
If you've listened to the show, watched the show, I'm no fan of Dion at Colorado. I liked him.
I'm not either. I said I loved him as a player.
But his son's an incredible player.
Incredible.
Rusty said no, they wouldn't. The media sucks up to the Sanders.
That's not true.
That's not true. He's literally not taking questions from people because they've been
he is villain number one right now. Yeah. This is the best thing that's happened to now that Jimbo Fisher's out of the game. Best thing that's happened to Dabo Swinney.
Show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205. I know people are going to say your eyes. You're not 2015. What were you watching last night?
Well,
I am 2015.
I was going to set you up. I said people are going to question your vision, but you beat me to it. Go ahead.
205-969-8100. Call that number. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Make sure you ask about the pre-inflation pricing. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have absolutely nothing to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. One of the best decisions I made was calling Dr. Mark Michelson over 2 decades ago. Him, Dr. Jim Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com. By the way, for the record, I had a couple of glasses of wine last night. Right. That was it. I did have an edible late night, but it was towards it was about with 5 minutes left in the game.
Wait, what are we talking about now?
No, I'm just saying everybody's like, he's drunk, he was hungover.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Now, I might be drunk later today.
I think most Colorado fans are watching that game on an edible, so I think you're okay.
Yeah. The Power 5 matchup between the ACC and the Big Ten, North Carolina and Minnesota, delayed a lot by lightning, just like UAB was. But that game came down to a couple of field goals late. One team made theirs. The other team did not make theirs. North Carolina wins the game. The first storyline is Max Johnson is likely looked to be out for the year. Pretty vicious injury there in that game.
Man, I'll tell you the takeaway there, and that was really a fun game to watch in the second half. I mean, it wasn't a lot of fireworks. It was a grinded out.
Wait.
But
you said it wasn't a lot of fireworks? Yes, they were, Lance. Let me take you to the fireworks. So kick is missed at the end.
But this game's in Minneapolis at Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota home game. Minnesota misses the kick. Forrester, what happens? Somebody.
They fired off the fireworks.
There were fireworks, LT.
Boy,
oh, no.
Hey, I'll tell you, Carolina's kicker was nails last night.
The other guy was supposed to be the better kicker, too.
Yeah. And missed 2. The one off the upright, the first one he missed was awful. Anyway, when
sad use of fireworks.
Max Johnson goes down, and you talk about a long journey from LSU to A&M to now Chapel Hill. You heard the emotions in Brock Huard's voice, man. When they were looking at Brad Johnson and his wife, I forgot her name.
Showed that a little too much for my comfort, but I thought
they did too.
I thought what Brock said, and Brock sounded like he got choked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he really, it almost like it reminded him of a moment, whether it was him or his brother, Damon. Maybe it was young Sam. I don't know.
You know where he got choked up? I think was when they cut back to him for felt like the 5th time. And the lady next to Max Johnson's mom looked like she was praying with her. I think that's what got Brock. Is just, in that moment, man, you're just so helpless.
And the only thing that bothered me about it, like focusing on that, the conversation they were having, look, and it was all real. It was real emotion from Brock. But it almost was like you just assume that Max Johnson is done.
Well,
like it was almost like his funeral for the season.
Yeah, and it felt like that. Now
he's got a hip injury. I don't know if he traveled back with the team. I know he went to local hospital, last night. You wish the best. I'll tell you, he did not look good. His offensive line, their offensive line might be worse than Colorado's.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Now, let me quickly.
They've got a 5'11" guard, by the way. Yeah. He gets some leverage.
He does, but I mean, when they line up, you're like, where the crap is their right guard? They don't have 5 linemen. What's going on here? Yeah. I mean, you cannot see him.
He's a slender line.
Yeah, I mean, he is tiny. The good news for Max Johnson, he's only actually used 2 years of eligibility, as insane as that sounds, because the 2020 didn't count against him. 2021, he only played 4 games, so he could use that as a red shirt. So he's only used 2 years of eligibility, so he's still got college.
Max Johnson has started it for 3 different teams, and he's only used 2 years of eligibility.
Welcome to the world we live in.
I thought he was done.
I can't figure it out.
I mean, how old is he? He's not 25?
Well, he played 2020, all of 2020. That counts against nobody.
Yeah.
2021, he had 4 starts, so that could be his red shirt. He played a full season in 22 and 23. So that's only 2 years of eligibility.
I heard.
Now, he would need a medical redshirt for this year, but after less than a game,
I don't remember which broadcast you guys might be able to help me out, but I heard twice, 7th year.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you may hear that about Max Johnson one day.
Yeah, even if he wants to do it, right? We'll see if he wants to. Because I think that lady that was praying with the mom, I think that was actually maybe his wife.
Could be. I don't know. I don't know. Could be his second wife. He's been
it wasn't very good, though. And Connor Harrell wasn't any better.
Well, he made one good play. Yeah. And that's all. That's all
he
had to do. Yep.
The fake run shuttle on 32 yards to set up the field goal.
That was a heck of a play. A little RPO and just a vertical out of the receiver. And, boy, the DB absolutely bit.
Caught him in a blitz, picked up the blitz. He bounced outside. Great call from Chip Lindsey, friend of the show.
I like Connor Harrell. He's a local kid. Played down at Dunaway's Thompson High School. I don't know what you're going to win with him back there.
I don't either. In that offensive line.
Yeah. Of course, they did have a running back there.
I mean, Hampton is really, really good. He'll keep you in some games. I think the defense, it's hard to say against Minnesota. I was looking forward to the New Hampshire quarterback, Brose. He was not good.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Jeff Collins' defense.
That's what I was going to say.
They have to play their tail off.
But, it's kind of, people dogging us out for saying, me and Brown for saying that Colorado's offense looks really good because based on who they played, you got to hold judgment when you're talking about this defense with North Carolina, too, because you tell me the last time Minnesota had a really good offense.
Well, when we get to the NC State game, I got some thoughts on the ACC.
Yeah. Well, it's impacted my pick 3.
What, the
I changed
NC
the
State game?
I changed the game.
You want to do it now or you want to do it on the next segment?
The pick 3?
No. My NC State thought.
We can get to them in the next segment, but we got a couple more games to get to here just locally. UAB ends up winning 41-3. Alcorn State there. They only allowed 177 total yards. This wasn't even a competitive little game.
UAB's got another problem, though, or the same problem they've always had.
Punt return for a touchdown. What's their problem?
Their problem is turnovers and penalties. 10 penalties again last night, 3 turnovers.
That plagued,
same old UAB.
Plagued the Bill Clark era, and they have not cleaned it up any at all.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Well, you just assume maybe you played a lot of people last night, that when you get into a competitive game, maybe you don't play as many people. And then there was a game over at Jack State, which Brownie had preached to me that it was going to be the best game of the night.
You didn't enjoy that.
And Coastal Carolina looked dang good.
I don't know this day and age. All right, let me ask you guys this question. Let me ask you a question. This day and age, is this the easiest era we live in to be good at quarterback?
Yes.
Year in, year out.
Well,
why?
Because 43 of the 68 Power 5 quarterbacks started off somewhere else, so people can move around.
That's right.
And will move around to find, a chance to play.
The minute a good recruit gets no playing time, he's gone.
Yeah, but I also think, the tutelage these guys get, the offseason, right. Guys are just playing one sport now.
Best position, it's the best the position's ever been.
Yeah.
How Jack State can be that bad at quarterback.
Terrible.
Is the kid from Army? Did he transfer in at quarterback?
They got a kid from Nebraska. I mean, I'm assuming if they didn't play last night, Jim, they can't throw the football.
Yeah.
That's my only assumption, because that was as bad as I've seen Jack State at quarterback in a long time.
Yeah.
And Rich Rodriguez is known for having a good quarterback, and man, were they bad. I don't know how you can be that bad at quarterback anymore. That is an indictment on Rich Rodriguez recruiting and his use of the NIL. I thought Jack State could maybe contend for Conference USA. Boy, with that quarterback play.
Oh, terrible.
Woo. Yeah. Game 1, they may get better, but
they're going to have to.
And I'll tell you, outside of that early turnover from Coastal that handed the 3 points to Jack State.
3 points.
I mean, I don't know what that score was going to be.
Oh, yeah, 1,000,000
Yeah. Our thoughts and prayers with the Saban family. Nick Saban's mom passing away, according to reports. Coach Saban, I don't know if he's going to still do game day or not. I know he was in College Station yesterday, so or at least we've seen some pictures and stuff. But our thoughts and prayers to Coach Saban. Many times you'd see his mom walk into post-game news conferences with Terry and Kristen and the rest of the family there. The early years in Tuscaloosa, and I know her health had not been 100% lately, so our thoughts and prayers goes out to Terry and Nick and Kristen and the whole gang there as we keep them as his mom passed away. There's Mrs. Saban with confetti falling, because she got to see a lot of those with her son over the years, 7 of them in the national championship and a lot of them in Atlanta.
She's subject to one of the greatest Saban stories of all time that is being retold all over social media today. Coach Saban has told it many times that one day in practice, a GA or somebody walked up to him holding a cell phone and said, "Coach, your mom is demanding to talk to you right now," and he thought something was seriously wrong.
Right.
She was calling to tell him she got a hole in one.
Yeah,
I mean, that's tremendous,
That's
man.
so good.
That is so good.
is amazing.
But, I remember, and you guys have done the coaches show with him before at Baumhauer's, and I remember the few times that I did it, she was there every time.
Yeah. She's was a sweet lady and lived a good life, man. I think 92.
Yeah, and I think there's something, my mom's still alive, but, I think when both your parents pass, I think it hits.
Yeah, you feel alone at that point. Both of mine are still alive, oftentimes listening and watching down in Alabaster right now. So
yeah, because I've talked to people that you have that, I don't know, I've just heard it's a weird feeling like, the people that brought you in are now gone, and there is kind of an emptiness there.
Yeah, so our thoughts with them as they deal with that, and anybody who's been dealing with that recently. All right, when we come back, we'll start with the pick 3, do more of last night's game before we get to that, and set up for a huge weekend with some massive showdowns. We get to see new look Alabama, new look Auburn this weekend, some big showdowns in the SEC, our headlines later on. It's a fun day on the show being brought to you by our friends at Hydra Live. Tell us about Hydra Live, LT.
Yeah, Hydra Live, great place to go. Get ready for this weekend. Maybe you're heading to Tuscaloosa. Maybe you're heading to Auburn. Make sure you are properly hydrated. Maybe you're just playing golf all weekend, Labor Day weekend. Stop in. Tell them the Next Round sent you. 20% off any of those great services, from the IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone, Tuscaloosa location as well. Again, very important. You mentioned the Next Round, 20% off those great services. They're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They can actually have a nurse come to your home or business as well. For more information, hydralivetherapy.com.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Back with you on the Next Round. Our Odie sound from the night last night is Dion Sanders postgame. Now this is a little bit of why there are people that don't like Dion Sanders. I can't imagine ever Nick Saban walking in and saying, a lot of you were hoping we're going to lose. I mean, how many times did college football fans cheer against Alabama?
Now he did
every game.
Every game. Now he did the y'all had us dead and buried, gone. He did that one. It's a little bit like y'all thought we were going to.
Now I got to be honest. I did have Colorado minus the 9.5. I was hoping that Hail Mary. Well, it did get completed 4 yards short.
Yeah.
But I would have absolutely loved to have seen them walk it off like that.
Yeah. Now here. Dion Sanders was talking to you, man in black.
Yeah.
Here's Dion Sanders post-game last night.
Yeah, we knew they weren't going to lay down. You know, we wanted to win decisively, and if we wouldn't have given up that last touchdown, it would have looked better. But we're not for looks, man. We the W or the L. That's what you remember. You guys could pick it apart, and you ladies, I apologize, all you want, but you're here for the W or the L. Some of you got upset that we got the W. Some of you, I'm really mad that we didn't get the L. So God bless y'all. You have to wait again till next week.
That isn't that bad. I mean, Dion's done worse than that. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Well, I wasn't saying that, but he's talking about some of you wishing we got the L.
I mean, he
said it in good
realizes,
humor, though. He laughed about it.
Yeah, and he realizes that they are the most hated team in football right now.
Taylor in the
might as well own it.
Little T in the MyBookie.ag chat rooms locking onto what I locked on too. We're not in this for looks. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, that is one of the things that drives them the most is the looks.
I do think Travis Hunter is an unbelievable dancer, man. His touchdowns, he had 3 opportunities to show me something good, and he had a different one every time. He's pretty good. Pretty good celebration.
Y'all can argue all you want if Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in America, but you tell me one team that wouldn't take Travis Hunter. One team.
Oh, my gosh. He could.
Travis Hunter?
Every team in America takes that guy.
Starting at corner, he's starting receiver.
Right.
You know, what's going to be interesting, what do you do with this guy at the next level? I think as good as cornerbacks, as important as that position is, if I'm him, I'm definitely playing wide receiver. With the money these guys are making now, you just saw the deal CD Lamb got. You saw the deal Ayuk got. I mean, if Ayuk's getting $30 million a year, watch out for what Travis Hunter's getting.
I'd just soon let him do whatever he wants to do. I'd let him play both sides.
Did you see what your man Tyreek Hill said last night?
I did not. About Travis Hunter?
Yeah. I don't know if you need a defensive end, offensive lineman, a quarterback. There is only one of one when it comes to Travis Hunter. So he's basically saying he needs to go number 1 overall.
That guy is a football player and
old school. They used to have a rule where you didn't come off the field.
Yeah.
He could play both of them equally as well.
And I don't know. I mean, he is all out on every play. The problem is, it's not a problem at all. That's what you want. He disappears on defense. Why?
They don't throw it.
They don't even look that way.
So he actually gets kind of a breather.
I mean, you wonder how many times he goes. I mean, I'm not discrediting his hustle at all. The kid clearly hustles every play, but I mean, it's probably easy not to go all out on every pass route because you know full well they're not coming your way. There you see what the old cheetah said.
There's Tyreek Hill. I agree with Troy in the MyBookie.ag.
1 of 1.
MyBookie.ag chat room over there. If his numbers are good, Travis Hunter should win the Heisman. Doesn't mean he will, but if you're going best player in college football.
He's a far better two-way player than Charles Woodson ever thought about being.
That's why
Charles Woodson won the Heisman on the back of being a two-way player.
When you asked what the number would be for Shedeur yesterday, I said 7 just because they get so much publicity. And that's all people talk about is Colorado. So they're unique. I don't know if there's another play on another team in college football that could win just 7 games and be a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
When's the last time a wide receiver went number 1 overall? I know Keyshawn Johnson did it, but surely somebody's done it.
Calvin Johnson did it.
He went number 1 overall?
I think so, yeah.
You know, I swear.
I thought Calvin Johnson went in the third round.
You know what I was going to say was Irving Fryer. I thought it was Irving Fryer.
He did go number 1 in 1984.
I thought he was the last one to go number 1.
Yeah. Show being brought to you, including that sound from last night by our friends at Odie's. Tell us about Odie's.
2 great locations for all of your football viewing this weekend. Stop in to the original Crestline, the newest location right there at Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis. Been doing it for more than 3 decades. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like that Diablo sandwich. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Live music tonight and tomorrow night. Again, inside or outside on that patio. Enjoy college football all weekend long at Odie's Tavern.
Your buddy Keyshawn.
Yeah, Keyshawn definitely went 1 overall to the Jets.
Yeah, he went number 1 overall.
You had 1 beer with Keyshawn, and you said he said about 10 things wrong about USC. Was that right?
Oh, no. It was all day. I was like, San Francisco's best team in the NFC. I was like,
they ended up winning the NFC, right?
USC is going to take this game to the wire tonight against Notre Dame. I mean, everything I said just discounted, and everything I said that day was spot on.
We got to get to the pick 3 here in a moment, but I do want to still go back to a couple of games last night, including the one Brown wants to talk about. NC State, outside contender for the ACC, some thought. Up against the wall against FCS powerhouse North Dakota. No, it wasn't one of the Dakotas.
It's the one I said you ought to be playing if you're going to do one of these games.
Western Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, and I texted with Luganbill this morning. Luganbill was doing the game, and I said, are they as bad as they looked? And he said, I try not to make rash judgments on 1 week, but that was obviously not great. I thought one of the most telling moments in that game, and I don't know how keyed into this game you guys were, but right as they're going to the half, they've got 4th and 1 deep in Western Carolina territory. They send the kicker out. Dave Doran's like, my God, we're playing Western Carolina. Let's go for this. So he calls timeout, brings the offense back on the field. They don't just line up and impose their will and say, you're Western Carolina, we're NC State. They try some shotgun outside play, and the kid loses like 4 yards. Yeah. I thought that's a telling play right there. I don't know how good NC State is.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I had the quad box early. I've still got water issues. Hemphill took care of everything yesterday, but I've still got fans down there drying everything out. So I wasn't able to have my setup. So I just had the one TV I was working with. First world problem.
My gosh.
But I didn't see much of NC State
Glad you're here
all.
today.
Yeah. I kept getting into the highlights. I started quad box with the way it shuffled out for me was Jack State.
Yep, I had that one.
Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, you didn't watch that long.
I had North Dakota State, Colorado here.
Yep. Minnesota, UNC.
I had Minnesota, UNC, and a main over-the-air signal.
And then I randomly had Arkansas, Pine Bluff. No, I had Missouri. Missouri
I had
was
Arkansas, Miami, and Arkansas, and then Missouri. That was my 4. And quickly, because I had Arkansas Pine Bluff plus the 50.5, I quickly went down to 3 boxes, and I quickly went down to 2 boxes.
That was in a hurry. No, my bigger takeaway, though, is just beyond the NC State game. I have now watched a lot of 3 ACC teams. How you guys feel about the ACC?
That's why
that's my biggest
coming
takeaway
up
there.
into the show when I show you my pick 3. I have flipped on one game that I was one way until I'm like, I'm not sure the ACC is any good.
Florida State's a multiple loss team. Georgia Tech played their tails off. They're a multiple loss team. NC State, I thought, could borderline contend in that conference. Yep. And again, I'm trying to take Luganbill's advice here.
Imagine this scenario that you get Miami loses.
I think they will.
And
Clemson loses. I think they will.
Yeah, and Clemson loses. I mean, then you're back to probably Florida State. Like if you want to bet Florida State to win the ACC, right now is when you need to grab it. Because Florida State is going to dominate BC on Monday night. And Clemson's going to lose, and if Miami loses, based on what you saw with North Carolina and North Carolina State, and we've yet to see Virginia Tech, and our friend John Willard, Virginia Tech grad, talking to him yesterday, he's going up to Nashville for the game. He doesn't feel great about this game.
Oh, my gosh. If they lose that one. I mean,
could you not see Vanderbilt keep this game extremely tight, though?
I guess, Lance. I don't know. With the ACC, yes. I mean, like I look at North Carolina. They won the game, obviously. But, I mean, do you guys think North Carolina's going to lose some games?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to lose it. They got no line. Points. Yeah. I watch Florida State. They're going to lose games. Georgia Tech's going to lose games. I watched that NC State team last night. I'm like, that does not look like a good football team.
Yeah, I can see at the end of the year.
McCall would be so much better.
Us talking about this is the problem with the automatic bids. You know, if you've got a 3-loss out of the ACC.
Yeah,
but it also works the other way though too. The Big 12 could have a lot of good teams, and you may have a 2-loss or 3-loss champion there who deserves to be in because there's been so many good teams. So I'm okay.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying people are going to say that.
I'm okay having, we get it in the NFL. Sometimes, I think the Seahawks one year had a losing record. I know my Bucks did one year, or at least 500 or barely over. I think we were 9-8 maybe or something like that. And we got in the playoffs. I mean, it happens sometimes. It's okay. I want to protect leaving out a good team that may have 2 losses as a conference champion, and I'll endure a bad 2-loss team as a playoff team. All right, pick 3 time. We'll get some of the games here, but quickly before we do this, we've got a lot to talk about. We always overreact week 1. That is perfectly fine. It's what we do. Tonight, FAU Michigan State can't be part of the pick 3. We don't do Friday night games. 6 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Did you see what Aiden Childs said?
I did not.
Horrible audio, so we don't have the audio for you. So I'll just paraphrase. Well, it's not even paraphrase. It was a short answer. Reporter, whose voice you could hear perfectly fine, heard it on Dusty and Danny on the way in, says, Shaw's first game, new coaching staff, blah, blah, blah. You want to make a statement for the world and for specifically other Big Ten teams? And his answer was, I would take the over tonight.
He said the player says that?
Yeah, the quarterback. I'd
take
the over tonight.
Wow.
Wait, I take the over in this game. So
in this game,
it's tonight.
What is the
now?
Total?
The discussion quickly became with Dusty and Danny this morning, and I'll ask you guys. I don't think all the kids understand the gambling terminology. He could be just insinuating we're gonna win the game by a lot, and saying I'd take the over. I'm not saying he's saying that. They're going to be over whatever it is. 48
only 45.5.
Yeah. I got 44.5 at mybookie.ag, Lance.
Yeah. So I sort of like Florida Atlantic to keep it within the number. Number I saw.
Michigan State's favorite 13 at home. Jonathan Smith's debut.
And Jonathan Smith is a great coach. Coach.
You always like that guy.
Tom Herman's the coach of Florida Atlantic, if you forget.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm staying away from this game. I've got 3 plays up in college football tonight.
Apparently, you should take the over.
I wouldn't trust it. It makes me even want to play the under in this game.
I know when a guy says that. Yeah.
I would just tell you this. He may not be insinuating about –
Was he going to throw some pick sixes?
He may not
can control that.
He may not be insinuating how good his offense is. He may be insinuating on the defense he's been playing in scrimmages.
He may know that they're going to have to ball out.
But I don't know if Scott can pull this. The end of their schedule, Michigan State, is brutal.
Worse than Florida?
My point there is I think Jonathan Smith has got to build as much confidence and win as many games as he can in September, October. Their landing is crazy.
It's not worse than Florida's landing.
It's for Big Ten standards, it is.
Well, Michigan State, after the bye, they play Iowa at home. They play Michigan on the road, and then they get Indiana at Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers.
Okay, well, then it was maybe middle of the season. Okay. Iowa.
Oh, no. You're right about that. Now, middle of the season, they've got Ohio State at Oregon, bye week, Iowa at Michigan.
That was the 4 I was talking about, yeah.
Listen to those 4. That is tough.
Oklahoma tonight as well. Alabama opponent, Wisconsin. You could see them on FS1 tonight. And then what is supposed to be a really good game, TCU and Stanford, 9:30 on ESPN this evening. We'll do the pick 3 in the next segment. Ferman at the top of the hour. Show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill gives you the lock as well. Tell us about the lock after I give you a chat room comment. It was Steve over there that says LT's house is perfect for commercials. Seems like things are breaking all the time. LT just likes things to work, things to be right. And that's where all of our great sponsors come in to go over there and keep things right. Like our friends at Hemp Hill, if something does malfunction.
It's one of the things about being a homeowner, man. Things are gonna break. Unfortunately, whether it's plumbing, heating, or cooling. The great news is we have got the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 right there with us in Hemp Hill Services. So if you experience any of these issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Bryant Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
On the Woodhouse scoreboard last night, if you missed it, Missouri won 51-0 over Murray State. That was our friend Jody Wright's debut as the head coach of Murray State as he tries to rebuild that program.
Can only go up from there, Jimmy.
Utah won easily with Cam Rising's return over Southern Utah. Kansas won easily over Lindenwood, 48-3. But in that game, someone who probably Kansas should send to Woodhouse Day Spa, check out this video. It happens all the time. You got to have your head on the swivel down there. I'm always fearful when I'm down there. Boom. You'll see this a couple times.
Plowed.
She did. Poor girl.
Kansas in their powder blues playing in a soccer stadium, which was a great atmosphere last night. She takes the hit hard. And then Brownie noticed from a different angle, the coach,
Lance Leopold,
comes running down just to check on her.
Yeah, it's during a next time out. He comes all the way down the sidelines, and you could see like one of the football ops guys points out the girl that got hit. And he just walks over and checks on her very briefly during a timeout in the game. I thought that was a very nice move by Lance Leopold.
Yep.
And a lot of players reacting on social media, too, saying that she took the hit really, really well. Like she
got right back up.
Like she could play defense, pick a bad defense in the country. She'd probably get out there and help somebody.
We probably half our staff up here would still be laying down.
Yeah, Josh Allen would have been begging for a flag.
We had a guy we work with that would have got workers' comp back in the day.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, that. Woodhouse Day Spa is where she needs to go, LT.
Yeah, look, tomorrow, wall-to-wall football. Send your wife or girlfriend to the Woodhouse Day Spa. Go see Stuart and the fine folks up there. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. She can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Gift card, simple solution. Buy them 24/7 or just stop by. Check out the Woodhouse Day Spa right there at the Summit Shopping Centers and tell them the Next Round sent you.
Okay, we don't send you to our website a lot. Nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. We're always sending you to our social media. On our social media, we'll eventually be sending out some links to the Pick 3 brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. But you go there, you play. This is where you have to play the game. It's the official entry area. Nextroundlive.com. nextroundlive.com. It is time for the theme, Tyler. Let's hit the song everyone's been waiting all summer to hear.
Pick three, it's time for the pick three. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick three. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick three. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick three.
And as always, Pick 3 brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, 11 Central Alabama locations, including that Buffalo Wild Wings Go location in Vestavia, #1 sports bar in Birmingham for over 20 years, wall-to-wall TVs, all locations, 26 sauces and seasonings to go along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, and salads. Get into one of those locations this weekend of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Ross says play it again for the people in the back. Hit it again. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hit it again.
Pick three, it's time for the pick three. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick three.
It does sound football-ish, doesn't it?
Say goodbye to your family is my favorite part.
Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick three.
All right, so I'll just call out some games. You can play whatever 3 games you want to play that's in the checklist. It involves the Power 5, I believe, and no Sunday game, no Monday game. It's Saturday games only, so go play. I miss Nikita as well. Roll Tide Jesse, all the great classic lines.
Fellas.
Penn State, West Virginia, 11 a.m. on Fox. Let's go quick thoughts on these games. LT first.
Penn State, the offense underrated last year. People don't realize 12th nationally, 36.2 points per game. How about this? Their last 20 games, 15-4-1 against the number, 15-3 straight up their last 18 games. West Virginia 2-6 their last 8 against the number versus Big Ten. They haven't beaten Penn State since 1989. They're not beating Penn State tomorrow.
It was obviously the Brown Bandits upset alert, going against the trend that we talked about earlier this year. As a favorite of a game outside the top 10, James Franklin covers, doesn't just win, covers 60% of the time. He's really, really good in this situation. West Virginia would have to buck the trend.
Yeah, and Drew Aller was really good in this spot last year. 325 yards, four touchdowns against this West Virginia defense. West Virginia's defense has got to be much improved. Garrett Green, good quarterback, though, dual threat.
170 more yards by Penn State in that win last year than West Virginia. We'll see if Garrett Green can close the gap this year. Big one in that early 11 o'clock window, Clemson in Georgia in Atlanta. You don't know all the names yet for Georgia, but people just expect them to come in and be good.
Lance, tell me why this line has dropped. It's been hovering around 13 for quite a while. This morning, mybookie.ag, Georgia's an 11.5-point favorite. Why would this have dropped?
Well, so
that's dropped a full point since I looked at it earlier this morning.
One of your main 2 backs, you lose your 2 best backs from last year, your 2 top rushers. So Robinson's out. You've got Trevor Etienne. Has Kirby confirmed he's playing or not?
He is not, and that's probably
you think
why.
That's it?
I
so
think
you
it
think they're
is.
just thin at running back.
Yeah, so you would have a walk-on true freshman, and I forgot who the other kid is, but 3 new faces in that backfield. I think that's why it's dropped. And let's not forget, Clemson started 4-4 last year. They win 5 consecutive games to end with 9 wins. First time they haven't had 10 wins since 2010. Credit to Dabo Swinney there. But this defense is going to be really good. These are 2 top 10 defenses right here. And one little fact from this game, there are only, for the first time since 1942, the fewest active coaches with national championships. There's only 3 right now in the FBS.
2 of them in this game.
2 of them in this game, and who's the other?
We always forget him, Mac Brown.
Yep. Saw him last night. He looked like he had just gotten up from a nap.
Yeah, he looked like he won the championship at 42.
Right.
Also in that early morning window, you get Chattanooga and Tennessee. Chattanooga's a pretty good little FCS team. Tennessee should have no problem. Nico's what we're watching. In the 1 o'clock game on ESPN Plus, streaming only, 15-0 defending back-to-back national champion South Dakota State, Oklahoma State. They're in Stillwater. Any concern? We had concerned about Colorado surviving North Dakota State. Any concern about Oklahoma State surviving South Dakota State?
I don't think so. I just don't think they're going to sneak up because they do have that number 1 next to them, and Oklahoma State's been in this situation. They've lost to Central Michigan. They've lost to a South Alabama at home. And if you're Gundy with the expectation this year college football playoff or bust, it's a game you can't lose, and especially with the fact you didn't suspend Ollie Gordon, and you said at Big 12 Media Days, His punishment was going to be running the ball 40 times.
Let me, since you group those two together, let me just put in perspective the level of opponent that Oklahoma State is playing here. Today at mybookie.ag, Tennessee's a 38.5-point favorite over Chattanooga.
Right.
Oklahoma State's a 10-point favorite over South Dakota State.
Yeah.
This is a far better FCS team that they're playing.
Up from 9.5, and I promise you, I looked at about 8 o'clock Central. So in the last hour and 54 minutes, Georgia's dropped a point to where it's from 12.5 to an 11.5, and that was – what is it now?
It's at 10, right at 10.
It was 9.5 this morning.
Yeah, so up half a point.
Yeah, up half a point there. 2:30 middle window. Miami of Florida and Florida in Gainesville. SEC Nation will be there. It's on ABC as you watch the game. And the more and more I look at this should almost be a pick 'em to me.
Well, it's 2.5. It is not a pick 'em, but it has hovered kind of around that all summer. Florida, a 2.5-point home dog.
Do wonder with the ACC struggling early if that will affect this number and the way people play this game. Florida 11-14 under Billy Napier. These teams met every year between 1944 and 1987. They've only met 7 times in 3.5 decades since. Cam Ward coming in is going to be one of the big stories. Damian Martinez could have a field day against his defense that was really bad last year. We all remember Florida ended the season on a 5-game losing streak. During that 5-game losing streak, they give up 38 points per game in those 5 games.
I've talked myself into Florida winning this game.
Me too.
I don't know if we're unanimous. Are we unanimous on that?
No, I lean Miami right now.
Yeah, save the graphic. Thank you. Yeah. It's a reference from Game Day if you don't watch Game Day. Colorado State, Texas. You're watching Texas to see how they replace defensive line and wide receiver. North Dakota and Iowa State could be a very interesting game as well, though Iowa State's a major favor in that one.
28 points, yeah.
In the 2:30 window. On down the list, South Carolina starts at 3:15 against ODU. I think they're about a 3-touchdown favorite in that one. EKU, Mississippi State. Then we get to the night slate. Western Kentucky, Alabama, betting line. Everybody wants to see what DeBoer looks like, where Jalen Milroe is after the coaching. 6 o'clock ESPN. What do you have on that game?
MyBookie.ag is 32 right now with a total 59.5. So the Crimson Tide at 32-point favorite.
Yeah, I just wonder if Vegas looked at this. Alabama's won the 3 previous meetings with Western Kentucky by an average of 32 points.
That's where I put the line.
Yeah, very coincidental there. Tyson Elton, 40-26 in his 5 years, 5 straight bowl games. He's won 4 of those. TJ Finley, I think, is the story here. Because, when we saw Finley, the expectation was at LSU he was going to be really good. And then he just looked like a guy that was just a statue in a pocket. And I didn't know how good he was going to be. But in his 2 starts against Alabama, 1 for LSU, 1 for Auburn, 31 of 54, 281, 3 touchdowns and a pick. I think you would take that right now, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Those are pretty good numbers against Alabama defense. At Texas State, he was really good, 67% of completion percentage, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Alabama can name their score, but again, the games get more difficult as September builds, so I don't know how much DeBoer and Nick Saban are going to show you with this offense.
Only 3 teams threw the ball more last year than Western Kentucky. Interestingly, the other one was a Hilton brother. Georgia Southern threw it more than anybody. That's Clay Hilton.
And I think we forget 3 years ago they were running the triple option.
No, Tyson Hilton, the other brothers at Western Kentucky, they were 4th. The middle 2 teams were Washington, Kaylin DeBoer's Washington team, and Oklahoma State. Those are the only 3 teams that threw it more than Western Kentucky last year.
Oklahoma State surprises.
Yeah, so you're going to see especially with Ollie Gordon at running back, right? So you're going to see a lot of passing in this game out of Western Kentucky. It's what they do.
So Alabama's won 22 consecutive season openers. Only one team has got a current active streak longer. Would you guys like to guess who that team is? And I'm assuming Alabama's last season opening loss was the Rose Bowl.
You mean UCLA?
Yeah, UCLA.
No, they lost with Dennis Franchione against UCLA, didn't they? Didn't he lose his opener?
Oh, was that the opener, though?
I guess it was.
I thought it was.
Well, it was UCLA either way. But they've won 22 consecutive. Only one team in college football has a longer season opening winning streak.
Ooh, that's a tough one, Lance.
It's a big brand.
Oh, is it a big
in
brand?
Oklahoma?
Who is it?
Ohio State. 24 straight.
Yeah, when you play Akron.
Okay, quickly, because we don't want to get past 6 before we go to Furman. Alabama, A&M, and Auburn, 6:30 ESPN Plus. What's the line on that one as we get ready for that one?
I've not even seen a number.
I
would guess it's like 38.5.
Yeah, MyBookie.ag has given you the FCS numbers. Auburn is a 48-point favorite over Alabama A&M. 56.5 your total.
Got a lot of receivers you got to show off in that one. We'll talk Notre Dame, Texas, A&M, USC, and LSU with Furman coming up. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. They're your provider today, 205-512-3885.
205-512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024 for your tweaks, your pulls, your pains, your breaks. Diagnose them, treat them, and rehab them. Your locations in Jasper, in Fultondale, in Alabaster, and all around the Birmingham and Central Alabama area. Orthopedic care, better together. Find your provider today. The people that we trust our kids with. You can trust your kids with them too when they hurt something playing league sports or school sports. 205-512-3885. Visit precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patted burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, a reminder on Monday, we're here on Labor Day working, and we start our Monday shows that you'll get all football season. 7 a.m. is Monday Morning Live, Tom Luganbill and myself. 8 o'clock, we go rolling in there with Brownie. Your show is?
And my show is The Middle Eight with Brandon Marcello.
Yep. And then at 1 o'clock, after we do the coaches' news conference in overtime, LT rolls in with
Unlocked with Brock Heward from Fox. If you watched Minnesota, North Carolina last night, you got plenty of Brock Heward.
Yep, all that programming extra on Mondays. And don't forget, a lot of shows go on constantly over at covercrimson.com and also at thebarnauburn.com. They've got live shows. They've got
recorded shows. They've got behind the premium content, interviews, and message board notes and stuff. It's all great over there at covercrimson.com and thebarn.com.
Thebarnauburn.com.
Thebarnauburn.com.
The guy we love to talk to every Football Friday is our guy, Todd Ferman. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Ferman, what is up? How are you?
I'm going to need an explanation for what I saw last night in Jacksonville, Alabama with the Gamecocks' lethargic performance to get this thing started.
Yeah, I would love to help you, but...
did you give him advice and put him on Jack State?
I did not. Lance had Coastal. I don't know if you had anything there, Ferman, but I don't know how you can be that bad at quarterback in today's age in college football. That was as bad as I've seen.
It's pretty impressive when your backup quarterback starts the game 0 for 7 with 2 interceptions. Not exactly going to get it done by any stretch. Kudos to ULT, a rocking chair winner with Coastal, and a game that actually saw a lot of professional money come in under the total. I don't think anybody expected Jacksonville State doing everything they could offensively to help Coastal put more points on the board.
Okay, I'm not going to be Floyd Mayweather and just show my winning ticket. I did have Colorado last night, and I love the fact that they were throwing late. I think anybody out there was like, what in the hell are they doing? Pat Shurmur just needs to sit on the football here, run this clock out. And we saw your tweet earlier. We showed it here on the next round where you said, I think it was like 98% of coaches might say they don't know the number, but they do. There it is. I'm more convinced than ever. If you poll the 68 Power 4 head coaches, 98.3% of them know the spread on their games, even if they won't admit it. I don't believe in coincidence in the late game. I agree with you. Mark Stoops is the guy I always point to, but I think Dion knew that number last night.
Oh, I don't know if that was the case with Dion or it was trying to look to pad the stats for Shedeur Sanders to get another touchdown pass in there, but that ultimately came back to bite him with North Dakota State coming up just 3 yards short. You mentioned how that game got bet. The number got as high as 12.5 there with the Buffaloes as a favorite. Total lands right in the middle. It was 59.5 early in the day, got as low as 54.5, comes right home in the threshold there. But we saw it all over college football. And when I threw out that number of 98%, I think the only 2 coaches that I was going to exclude from that mix would be Kalani Sitake at BYU and Kyle Whittingham at Utah, just because there's no organized gambling, at least in a forward-facing capacity in the great Beehive State.
All right, let's cut to the chase on the Georgia game. Is ETN going to play from what you're hearing? And that number has dropped a little bit. Georgia's not as big of a favorite as it was earlier this week.
We were told earlier in the week not to expect him out there in the mix. Now, granted, Georgia's running back room continues to get more and more banged up, and we know the Bulldogs like to make the rules as they go. But I don't expect ETN to be out there. I don't expect Smail Mondin to be out there on the defensive side of the ball either. And when you look at the injury to Roderick Robinson, it changes the depth that Georgia has in their backfield. But for Clemson on the other side, they may be dealing with some injuries in their own right. A lot of speculation about who may or may not be available in that young, inexperienced secondary. But that didn't change the betting market stance on the game. What was interesting is you started to see a pretty wide sweeping move come in on Clemson late afternoon, early evening yesterday. We're now down in that Georgia minus 12, even 11.5 range. But what's interesting with that, at the same time you saw money come in on Clemson, you also saw some under money enter the market. I know people are kind of working under the assumption that this could be a lower scoring game. Don't think it'll approach the 10-3 snoozer that we saw between these teams the last time they played. But the one thing that Clemson does have working in their favor, Dabo's been outstanding as an underdog, especially a big underdog, 5 points or more, 12-1 against the number, the 13 times it's happened since he's been at Clemson. And this will be the largest number in terms of an underdog price tag attached to Clemson, going all the way back to 2012 when they were a 14.5-point dog against Florida State.
Speaking of someone else, Ferman, good in the spot that they're in, that is James Franklin. You can get all of Furman's plays at Todd Ferman on Twitter, but all of his opinions there. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. As bad as Franklin is against top 10 teams, he is this good in the situation he's in Saturday where they're playing a team not in the top 10. Against the spread alone, he's 6-0 in those, or 60% in those games, and he wins almost all of them. This seems to be a good spot for James Franklin Saturday.
You know, road favorites, especially of the rank variety in week one playing in true road settings, haven't exactly been one of the best bets in college football over the last 5 to 10 years, hitting at about a 41% clip. So, of course, you still have plenty of opportunity for Penn State to squeeze in there. But what's interesting about this number is we saw West Virginia as an 11.5-point underdog earlier this summer, and we've only seen one-way traffic on the game. One of the sharper sports books out there now, sitting the lowest in the market with Penn State, a 7.5-point favorite. I'm curious to see if it does touch a full touchdown there, because you will see some Penn State money start to enter the market there. When you look at West Virginia, this has kind of been a buy-on team from professional bettors this offseason as far as their win total is concerned. Neil Brown really righted the ship last year when he was kind of on his last legs in Morgantown. Garrett Green, the dual-threat quarterback, should be a heck of a player to watch. And I think the big question that everyone has with Penn State, even with their illustrious track record of covering as road favorites under Coach Franklin, what will the offense look like? Will they allow Drew Aller to throw down the field in Andy Kotelnicki's offense? Will James Franklin be a little bit more conservative? I think the line movement on this game makes it one of the more fascinating contests of the entire day, because there's no team that would have benefited more over the last decade or so with an expanded playoff than Penn State, who always seem to be on the outside looking in. It'd only be fitting if Penn State finished this season as the 13th team in the country and still found a way not to make the college football playoff.
Hey, because we've made, we're talking about these line movements with both Clemson and Georgia, and I understand that one, and I understand the Penn State, West Virginia. I'm going to jump ahead to Sunday night because I think a lot of people don't understand. LSU was a 6-point favorite just a couple of weeks ago. I thought it would tick up a little bit because public money is going to be all over LSU. I know there are a lot of people that like to back USC in the desert, but for this thing to drop to 4.5 is pretty interesting.
I was actually hoping that this number did tick out a little bit further because I would have been in the USC camp if I could have grabbed them. Plus a touchdown. As a result, I'll probably find myself on the sidelines here. But when I look at the way the dynamic for these two programs go, I think both of them are in a unique spot in terms of trying to replace a former Heisman Trophy winning caliber quarterback. Miller Moss, we saw glimpses of what he did in the bowl game last year against Louisville, 6 touchdown passes, and kind of asserted himself throughout camp. USC came into our backyard here in Vegas and got Jaden Maiava to switch his commitment from Georgia. Think he's going to be the quarterback of the future, but from what I was told, Moss actually beat him out. Meanwhile, on the other side, LSU, Garrett Nussmeier takes over for Jaden Daniels, and the one thing about Nussmeier, doesn't have that same level of athleticism and mobility. He's not the threat to take off from the pocket. And I think when you look at LSU, even with the gaudy numbers Nussmeier put up in the bowl game, you wonder if the Tigers have some of those difference makers on the outside. They say that they're not going to miss a beat, which I find hard to believe when you have 2 wide receivers drafted in the first round in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. I look at LSU defensively, and they're getting rave reviews out of camp thus far, but I also have concerns there. When you look at the depth chart, not exactly the biggest defensive backs in the world. All guys in that 5'10", 5'11" range matched up against bigger, lankier, athletic receivers for USC. I think this number is kind of in no man's land right now, but should be one hell of a game. If I had to pick it at the current price, 4.5, I'd lean towards USC. I think it's the kind of game where the back door could be open, and if LSU's offensive line can't control the line of scrimmage, I'm not sure that they'll have an advantage anywhere else in the field over USC.
Listen, week 1, I like to look at that tone setter game. Which one can set the tone for the season? There's not a bigger one than Notre Dame, Texas A&M in prime time on ABC. Is there an angle on this one I should be looking at?
I wish there was. I dabbled a little bit early on myself, took A&M on a cheap money line, but full transparency, probably going to come back over the top and take Notre Dame as a 3-point dog, hoping it falls somewhere in the middle. When you look at Notre Dame, the big question that they're going to have to answer is along that offensive line where the left side is a little bit banged up. This will be the first time in 42 seasons where where Notre Dame will go into a season opener without a senior on that O-line, and going into Kyle Field, not the easiest place to hope guys that have 6 combined starts between them are able to gel in that atmosphere. But at the same time, I'm not sure this A&M offense is going to come out and light the world on fire. Colin Klein has a lot to prove as starting quarterback Connor Wegman. You look at A&M losing arguably their bell cow back in Reuben Owens, not quite sure who their alpha is going to be as far as their true number 1 wide receiver. This should be a fascinating chess match, and I think it's one that will get decided on the sidelines. Of course, the biggest storyline to follow, Mike Elko, the new head coach at A&M, matched up against his former Duke quarterback in Riley Leonard. I think this is a low-scoring, ugly football game. Problem is the total reflects that. We've seen this thing bet down from 51 at the peak, now sitting at 45.5, but wouldn't shock me at all if we were talking about a 24-21 type football game.
Todd Ferman on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Miami is at Florida. There are hot seat implications galore in this game. Florida, a 2.5-point home dog in this one, Ferman.
Came into this game thinking that I wanted to do everything I could to make a case for Florida as a live underdog. Earlier this summer, this price was in that 4.5 range. Thought there was going to be an opportunity to get 6. Alas, that didn't happen. But when you look at the way this game has been bet, every time it gets to Miami, a 3-point favorite, you see a different school of thought start to enter the market. Player by player, if you go through the rosters, there's no comparison. Miami is far superior at almost every position on the field, but we know that doesn't always translate to wins and losses. This will be one of the more lively atmospheres for the reasons you outlined. I mean, talking about a Florida team, when you look at their schedule, doesn't have a lot of wins, and if they don't get one here, going to be very difficult, in my opinion, for them to get to that 6-win threshold and go bowling. Mario should have his eyes set on winning the ACC. Florida State losing last week kind of serves as blood in the water for the Sharks that are circling down there, saying Miami has no excuse. But for me, I want to see how Graham Mertz looks against this defensive front for Miami. I do like the receiver room for the Gators, a little bit concerned about their ability to show balance, but I think the biggest question I have is how Florida will hold up defensively against some of the new additions that Miami has. But candidly, I'm not a massive Cam Ward fan like he's being built out to be. I've watched a lot of Cam Ward when he was at Washington State, and the thing that troubles me is how erratic some of his performances were. Let's see how he fares in this kind of environment, be one of the biggest stages he's ever played on during his college career.
Ferman, I want to ask you about Ferman and all the other great matchups in the SEC. How do you?
But you're going to ask him a personal question.
No. Furman's at Ole Miss. This Furman's in Vegas. Other Furman's at Ole Miss. Western Kentucky, Alabama, A&M, and Auburn. ODU, South Carolina, Eastern Kentucky, Mississippi State. When you're looking at these kind of games, how do you, just some advice? How do you look at them? Do you play those type games? Do you just stay away from them because you never know what the other coach is going to do with his starters?
Yeah, a lot of these numbers can be tough to try and navigate through. I mean, we did see some money come in on a couple of the FCS, FBS games yesterday. One of the bigger positions I saw was actually on UCF against UNH, laying 37.5. They win the game 57-3. And then, of course, you see some of the scores that are scrolling by, and I'm sure Arkansas fans are making their plans to go to Atlanta because we know every SEC championship run starts with a 70-0 drubbing of Arkansas Pine Bluff. But when you go through these numbers that are out there, I mean, Ole Miss, a 42-point favorite in their game. You're looking at Auburn, a 48-point favorite against Alabama A&M. You just need so many things to go right, and coaches that really want to put their foot on the accelerator to be able to make a statement. That for me, I typically shy away from some of these big numbers, especially early in the year. But the one thing I will say, for anyone that says college football does not have a preseason, don't tell that to a lot of these SEC programs that get one tune-up before they play meaningful football.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, Akron has beaten Ohio State since the 1800s. Tarleton State was playing somebody last night. Lindenwood was playing somebody last night. So please walk into my house and comment about the SEC schedule.
Hey, you know what? I mean, look, Ohio State and everybody else has to learn by the SEC's example.
Yeah.
And I kind of joked with some of my colleagues in Norman. I said Oklahoma has definitely bought into this SEC mentality because nothing says big-time football in early November than the Maine Black Bears rolling into Norman, Oklahoma for must-see TV.
Yeah, just ignore the only conference that has given you worthy games on the first weekend. Clemson playing Georgia, SEC team. Miami playing Florida, SEC team. Notre Dame playing Texas A&M, SEC team. USC playing LSU, SEC team. Without the SEC, you wouldn't have crap to watch this weekend.
To your point, a couple of those games are great. I do not, however, love the comments from Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley bitching and moaning, saying that if they had their druthers, they wouldn't have kept this game on the schedule. And unfortunately, I think we're headed in a direction with the 12-team playoff that unless we get conference games week one, we're not going to see some of these marquee matchups. So I guess we should cherish them while we have them. Good point, Mr. Dunaway.
I will tell you this, though. There was one person on the panel that was on Arkansas Pine Bluff last night, plus the 50.5.
Can you believe he lost that last
It was me.
50.5 Furman he lost.
It's a big number. Look, we've seen money come in on the Zips for their trip to the Shoe to take on Ohio State. One thing I will tell you, there aren't really key numbers in terms of if you like the underdog there. The difference between 50.5 and 48.5 is minimal. Now that I say that, watch that game inevitably fall 49.
That's right.
I mean, 50.5, I was like, at some point they'll call the dogs off.
Nope.
And it was 21-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yep. Bob Petrino was making a point there.
Yep.
I mean, look, Arkansas may have may not have much to celebrate this year, so they're going to have to put up 70 points whenever they get the opportunity. Because when you look at their schedule, starting at September 21st against Auburn, there's a chance they could go 6 games and not score 70 points, even with Bobby Petrino as their offensive coordinator.
Furman, enjoy week 1, my man. We always appreciate the time.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Best of luck with all of your picks, and can't wait. Should be another great college football season.
Yep, looking forward to it. All right, that is Todd Ferman. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. BetTheBoardPodcast.com is where you find him. At Todd Ferman on Twitter. If you want to follow him on social media, you can do just that. At Todd Ferman on Twitter. I will say Taylor Green did look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think that was important last night for Bobby Petrino to get him a lot of confidence, and more importantly, on the other side, to get that defense a lot of confidence.
Absolutely. Inverness Country Club, LT. Tell us about those great folks. A couple of things still to do in this segment.
So, second reference of our friend John Willard. Talking to him yesterday, we mentioned if you travel for work or pleasure, ask about the Heritage Plus option, where you have access to courses at 37 other clubs around the country. Once you get that membership in Inverness, you can have this as kind of a bonus. He was talking about playing 3 different courses in the Denver area, said they were fantastic. So if you do travel for work or business, play a lot of golf, this makes a lot of sense. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. Again, memberships that fit everyone. The golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the course. Child care, also a big plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from home while the club and they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. Maybe you relocated to retired. Inverness, great place to network. Take a tour of this unbelievable club today. Call Aaron, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
And also by our friends at the Pan Store, Birmingham and the state of Alabama's game day headquarters. You got 2 locations in Birmingham, 1 in Huntsville, 1 in Leeds, 1 in Tuscaloosa, 1 in Auburn. For all your Bama and Auburn gear, for the guys, you got the polos, the hats, the quarter zips. Not that a woman doesn't look hot in a hat. You can get a hat there too. But for the ladies, they do have the Hoka, New Balance, and Western boot type shoes you want to wear on game day. They got the rompers, they got the dresses, they got the free alterations there. For the guys, those polo shirts, the great Horn Legends, the Cutter and Buck, the Antiguas, the Gentiles, all the name brands there. Free gift wrapping if you want to give the Pants Store as a gift. And by the way, ship them anywhere in the world, pantstore.com, pantstore.com. Nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like the Pants Store, pantstore.com. You heard Furman talking about the Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly back and forth on maybe we shouldn't play these kind of games to start. Maybe I need an exhibition game. Here's Lincoln Riley out in the sun in L.A.
What's just the challenge of knowing you guys don't have any sort of kind of tune-up opportunity before you play a national power?
Yeah, never really viewed it like that. I mean, these games are fun. I've been in a couple of these big ones in early seasons, and they're great because you look forward to it all off season. It's a great way to start the season, and so I think it's a positive. First games, there's always a sense of new and excitement, and you're kind of waiting to see what you really are and what the opponent really is. I think you always feel that. But I like it. I like playing a marquee game early. I like playing a really good opponent early. I think there's a ton of positives, and like I said, I think there's been a momentum and an excitement about this that's been building for a long time.
And there's something about this game when you've got 2 quarterbacks that are each replacing Heisman Trophy winners. You rarely get that. Miller Moss replacing Caleb Williams, and then Garrett Nussmeier, who's replacing Jaden Daniels. So it'll be fun, and it'll be interesting to see the crowd in Vegas and that standalone game on Sunday night. Can't wait to see that one coming up. We got headlines in the next segment, 4 downs after that, and then we'll get to more of the Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3. You can keep playing that at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Just look for the big Pick 3 logo and the Buffalo Wild Wings logo and go click there. Pick the 3 games you want to play. Try to go 3-0 and get a ball in the bucket for the grand prize coming up at the end of the year. LT mentioned Brandon Ayuk, his contract earlier. I will tell you, interesting storyline. If we're expanding the SEC, give me Morgantown as a potential landing spot. They get it. Earlier this week, they closed K through 12 schools all over Morgantown because of increased traffic from fans coming in for Saturday's big game, the 11 a.m. kick. They said, we don't need the kids to go to school on Friday. Let's shut it down a day early.
I love it.
No school buses out in that traffic to get the kids home. McAfee's there. That's going to create traffic. Penn State fans coming to town, traffic. Mountaineer fans coming to town, traffic. Let's don't clog it up with school buses and parents and car lines. Shut it down, boys. Shut it down. No school. That's SEC football.
No, that is. They get it. Absolutely. Like I say that, Missouri they were dragging their feet on, well, they didn't cancel classes.
Yeah.
To let people in for that big Murray State game last night.
Yeah, but 4 hours, they ended up moving it an hour, had 4 hours of tailgate.
They should have canceled classes. Be a real SEC school. Cancel classes on Friday.
All right, headlines when we come back. Show being brought to you by our friends at the Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America. This is such a great weekend if you're a racing fan. September 6th through the 8th. It's the high-octane sports cars all on the track together. The Ferraris, the Porsches, the McLarens, the Lambos. You get all that. The beer gardens out there. They're open, the kids zones, and don't forget to bring your dogs for the Bark at the Park and for the Saturday races. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in absolutely free. Get your tickets today with our friends at Barber Motorsports Park.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Our friends at Johnston RV Center. Brownie, tell us about them as we get ready and get out on the road again. JohnstonRVCenter.com. Headlines coming up momentarily. By the way, my wife, who's at Duke, says, I got a chance to go to the game tonight. I was excited. Then I realized it's Elon they're playing. And I'm like, so you're not going? And she's like, no. And I was like, you wouldn't care about the game anyway.
Football snob.
And I said, so the class is canceled today? She's like, no.
I bet it's a tough ticket, though.
Did you tell her to go secondary market, see what she can make on that thing? Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. I can only promise you 2 more days of the pricing they have right now in the RV Showcase. It's good through August. I cannot tell you what Nick and the gang are going to do up there in September, so you need to get up there and take advantage of it today. Get ready for tailgate season. New and pre-owned travel trailers starting as low as $14,995. Fifth wheels starting as low as $397 a month. You get that lifetime warranty from Johnston RV Center, an RV warranty forever on anything new and qualifying used. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
All right, so a lot of conversation about last night. A lot of conversation about the games tonight, and we've hit some of the headlines for Saturday's games with our Pick 3 and with Ferman there. But on Fridays, we like to occasionally sit back and try to project in old – there used to be these things called newspapers. And there was always a headline writer that would have to come up with headlines, right, that would draw people in, the attention, and then you'd read the story. A good picture, good headline would get you to read the story. We don't really have headlines anymore. Alerts are set. You social media is used to put you to a story, but we're going old schools on Friday in our spotlight. It is Monday's headlines today, and it's brought to you today by our wonderful folks at the Wharf Casual Seafood. Hit the button. Go.
The College Football Spotlight.
Like the game's already been played. Monday's headlines today.
Yeah, stop in and enjoy some fresh seafood from our friends at the Wharf Casual Seafood. Fast casual restaurant serving American cod seafood locations, Montgomery, Dothan, Alexander City, now Moody, Leeds. To check out the menu and to see location nearest you, go to wharfcasualseafood.com. From the seafood entrees, tacos, platters, po' boy salads, burgers, and so much more. Great drink specials as well. Stop into that newest beautiful location. For more information, again, wharfcasualseafood.com.
All right. Who wants to start us off?
I'll be happy to.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the Miami game in Gainesville. My headline comes from the independent Florida Alligator. Crystal balling baby put down for a nap beer.
Oh, I get it.
You see, well, Having's crying, so he gets put down for a nap. Crystal balling baby put down for a napier.
Good photo staff, too.
Napier, what?
Good photo staff, too. They got him crying.
They got him crying on the sideline. He's upset about a call. Lance being missed call there.
Hey, what else is going on?
Well, on page 2, Hemp Hill Services in Alabama announces plans for a new office inside a Birmingham man's home.
Hey,
They're just
bring
gonna
it
build right there in the home.
Believe it or not, if you actually, if you do Google locations or whatever.
Yeah, Hemp Hill Services in your front yard?
It calls my house Gutter Cap of Birmingham.
Yeah, I know the story
So
behind
we probably
that.
could move one out, move one in, 205-229-2090 or Hemp Hill Services.
I'm wondering, is this the visit you get free with Hemp Hill? Your 13th visit is free?
Yeah, probably.
Do they give you a punch card?
Yeah.
I am a Diamond Club member. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Page 3, Alabama Sportscaster says both Alabama and Auburn can make it to third base.
Got to get to second base first.
Oh, do they? Okay,
Yeah.
well, this is a season projection that they might make it to third base.
Oh, I think one or two could go all the way.
I have got to check out the Independent Florida Alligator.
It's a good paper,
I bet
man.
it's just a bunch of crime in there.
Yeah, well, they do. Florida man shows up in there a lot.
Yeah. Does anybody else have one? I'll go last. You got one?
I've got one.
Okay, let's go to LT's next.
We are going to the big house. Sharon Moore starts out, hey, Winks unit dominates, but Orgy draws mixed reviews. I don't know if people know Wink Martindale's taking over that defense. I think it's going to be really good.
I'm more interested in that quarterback
Alex
battle.
Orgy yet to throw a career pass at Michigan, but
dare I say that quarterback battle seems to be crowded.
Yeah, aesthetically it is not going to look good.
Yeah,
if you're watching Orgy, I'm just telling you. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it, Lance.
Yeah.
I liked it. Came out of nowhere.
It's really good, really good. I wish you'd gone last now. It's so good.
No, Dunaway's is bad.
Well, that's not good.
Remember I was pretty good on a roll last year.
That's right. You were.
That was
But
a good
truthfully,
one.
I forgot today, so I had not mentioned to you yesterday. I thought maybe you'd forgotten.
I just actually, literally last segment, I texted Tyler. I just came up with it.
And Tyler put it together that quick. Good job,
Like
Tyler.
really within 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, I had about 5 minutes. Lance texted me, can you put up the headline if I send it to you? And I'm thinking, oh, he's got the picture. He just needs to email it to me.
You crushed that, though.
That's really good. I thought LT came in with that in his back pocket.
Dude, Orgy looks,
he's cut up.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Jimmy's Journal. Every week we'll do Jimmy's Journal. Breaking news. Kirby finally beats a Nick. Clemson quarterback Club Nick throws 3 interceptions. Georgia wins the game. Kirby finally beats a Nick.
I should have gone last.
I had a Georgia fan, our friend Hemp McWhorter, good dude who's always at trivia.
And I'm sure he's going to be in Atlanta this weekend.
He is not. I asked him, I was like, "You're going over for the game?" He goes, "No."
Well, he's getting old like us, man.
I said, "Hemp, this will be the easiest one all year. You don't have to go to Athens. You only have to go to Atlanta." He goes, "I have got so much PTSD from that building." I was like,
am I wrong?
I said, Nick Saban's not on the other sideline.
Could they play there 4 times this year? Is that right?
Absolutely.
Because tomorrow, SEC Championship, Peach Bowl, what are the quarterfinals maybe?
Yep, and the championship.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. They can play 4 games there.
And how many times when LSU, I think 2 times, they won the national championship in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but seems to work out like that.
It does. Other headlines down at the bottom. Go to page 2 for those. But Lincoln finishes this play. USC 31-30, and Florida man rides out Hurricane. Gators 20-17.
Riding the storm out
on that weekend there.
Good start there, guys. That was good.
Well, first off, 2 of us remembered it, and I didn't. So
that's right.
I forgot all about it. I was all caught up in the pick 3 and. Getting my dry erase board ready to go for that, which is coming up.
I mean, I really didn't remember it.
A little over an hour.
We worked it out.
I remembered it in time.
Yeah, time enough. Yeah. That's brought to you by our friends at the Wharf's Casual Seafood today. Tell them one more time about the Moody Leeds location.
Yeah, stop at that new location. I was in there just a couple of weeks ago. Get in, see Mo and Carly. Tell them the next round sent you to check out their menu online, and the location nearest you, wharfcasualseafood.com, Montgomery, Dothan, Alexander City, and now Moody Leeds.
Okay, so and see how I can phrase this.
Okay.
What are your biggest concerns about the SEC contenders? We'll go Alabama and Auburn first. If I said Alabama, the biggest concern about Alabama going into the season is what?
I think the majority of fans would say their biggest concern is in the secondary. And specifically at corner, I think you feel good with Sab and Malachi Moore at safety, right?
Right.
So I think you feel like you're really strong at safety, but you do wonder about corner, and you wonder about corner in a defense where the secondary is, you need more bodies than ever, right?
Right.
Potentially. Maybe not on every single play, Lance, but I don't know if any of those questions are going to be answered. I think even if your secondary looks lights out tomorrow, most people are going to say, well, yeah, that was TJ Finley. I've seen him. Even though you gave the numbers he's had against Alabama aren't terrible.
Yeah, again, in 2 starts, 31 of 54, 281 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick. I mean, that's about as well as TJ Finley can play.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. That is prime TJ
But
Finley.
I agree. If it's not the secondary, it is, outside linebacker. Who's going to be that edge guy?
Yeah. I think most Alabama fans are concerned about the secondary.
Hey, Tyler, if you can give me cut 1, man. Here's Kane Wommack. He gets asked. He's the defensive coordinator, but he's been a head coach before. He's defensive coordinator and assistant coach before that. He's the guy that's, I think, on Monday and Tuesday, depending on when you come back to us on our holiday weekend, but we are here live Monday. I think this is the guy that people may be talking about the most. Eventually, we'll be talking about this defense, a different style, and then what you guys are talking about. So, Kane Wommack, you still get nervous about these first games?
When it's your first game at a new job, whether it was when you were a head coach at South or now as a coordinator, is there kind of like a different anticipation or nervousness, or do you get to a point in your coaching career where there's not really nerves anymore?
No, I think there's always nerves, to a degree, right? You're always, it's like getting ready for a big trip with a family of 5, right? 3 boys. What did I forget? What did I miss? You know what I mean? Did I pack everything the right way? But I would say, I feel in my element as a coordinator. I loved, my time as a head coach, and I enjoyed that as well. But this feels very familiar to me, and something that I just enjoyed calling plays. It's probably one of the things I missed the last 3 years, is not getting to be the play caller on game day, and I am looking forward to doing that again.
Looking forward to doing that, absolutely. At Auburn, what's your biggest concern?
For me, there is so much. Look, and you do have Lambert Smith coming in. You've got the Richie Lewis kid coming in. But there is so much expectation for true freshman wide receivers. And how quickly do these guys get acclimated to the FBS?
Well, that's perfect, LT. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think if you in this game and Peyton Thorne doesn't look any better than he did last year, there's going to be a deflation among Auburn fans because, number one, you're playing a badly overmatched opponent. And number two, you're excited about these weapons he's talking about.
Yeah, and off of LT's point and what Brown added there, here is Auburn DB champ Anthony. Who better to ask about how good the wide receiver in Peyton Thorne looks than a DB who's been playing against him?
It's like a volcano about to erupt. It's just, man, I can't hold my excitement. I'm in class thinking about football. I'm walking to the facility thinking about football, just thinking about running out there in Jordan hair, just real excited, man. It's hard to contain the energy. We're gonna score a lot. So seeing them so young come in the transfers, we didn't get no lollygaggers. We got some real deal killers out there. So when I look at that receiver room, I get happy. I get excited because I know we gonna put points up and I know we gonna stop.
No lollygaggers.
He looks like he just got off the school bus, though.
That's the DB saying he's excited about running out of Jordan Hare Stadium because of the guys he's been covering, the wide receivers. I think a lot of people are echoing that for Auburn fans as well. All right, 4 downs in the next segment. Our friends at Rowback. I've got a little gear on today. Use the promo code TNR20. TNR20. Is that a Rowback shirt
as
well?
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
Rowback as well. Right there. Promo code TNR20, 20% off at rowback.com. Thanks to all of us here at the Next Round and those fine folks at Rowback there. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, we're live with you with our Next Round kickoff that we always do, a little right there in the middle of game day. They do a 3-hour show. Watch them at 8, watch them at 10, but 9 to 10, come hang with us. On all of our video platforms. We'll be from our homes and various locations getting ready for the games.
Yeah, make sure you set your alerts on YouTube so when we go live on events like that, you get an alert. So it's easy to forget. We get it. It's the weekend, but sometime around 9 o'clock, we'll hit live, and boom, you get that alert, and you know to watch us.
Post-game shows will be handled on a regular basis by thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com, and covercrimson.com. Zach is asking that in the chat room. If there is reasons for us to jump on those shows or give reactions, we'll jump on our social media platforms as well. So get the post-game shows right there, thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. CU Buff saying, is it behind the paywall, or as we like to call it, premium content area? I don't know the answer to that yet. We'll find out tomorrow. I don't think it is, but we'll check on that tomorrow for the post-game shows. All right. 4 downs and a lot more thanks to our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. This is the Next Round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Bryant Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Back with you on the next round as Little T, in charge of all of our online social media stuff. She jumps in the chat room and says, no pre or post game show will be behind a paywall. That from the captain, Taylor Korn there. By the way, Forrester, I don't know, can you get the command center social media shot over my shoulder here? It's a tradition unlike any other. Taylor Korn rolling in with the old Auburn game day jersey on. She's ready to head to Jordan-Hare Stadium. You see her doing work over there. Right.
I like that shot.
Yeah.
Right there.
Shows why.
Hey, you hear that keg humming?
I do hear the keg humming.
16 minutes away, and we got Danielle from Adams brought us fresh new kegs. We got a keg of Michelob Ultra and a keg of Stella.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at there. So Little T in that Bo Jackson jersey. That thing gets worn a lot during the season.
Yep. I would say game worn, but Bo Jackson jerseys are twice, maybe 3 times the age of Taylor, at least twice. So she'll be at the Auburn game. E.G., Emily Grace McWhorter, who's not seen here, but she's over here. It will be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow. And don't forget all of our thebarnauburn.com folks and the fine folks that cover Crimson will be on the game day site as well. The three of us will be from the comfort of our home, and we'll be joining you throughout the day on social media. Like, subscribe, and follow everywhere at Next Round Live. The show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher. New York Butcher. I'm by myself at the house tomorrow. No kids, just 2 little dogs and me.
Guess what I did last night?
Should I go to New York Butcher?
Yes, you should.
We went to New York Butcher, went to see our friend Jim, the 119 location, picked up some smash burgers. Did them on the iron skillet last night. My propane was out. I've got to get that taken care of this weekend, but did them on the iron skillet.
Bill Services doesn't do that too.
Cut up an onion in the skillet with the burgers, and then our Hancock barbecue sauce from the other night. Did the smash burger like the smokehouse style with the grilled onions, the barbecue sauce, and jalapenos.
Ooh, Lance.
That was all from the New York Butcher Shop. Fantastic stuff. You can pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. 2 locations, Highway 119 in Greystone, Cahaba Heights, and New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well done service.
I'll go ahead and tell you, there were 5 barbecue things out there, one for each of us that was there.
You know what's out there today?
Just the seasoning, right?
Yeah. What happened to all the barbecue
That's
sauce?
what I was going to ask.
I took 1 barbecue sauce because I won't even use the whole thing. The only thing I would say about the flavor's great, but it's vinegar based, so it's really runny.
Yeah.
And like on a burger, I like a thicker barbecue sauce.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to give the barbecue sauce a try. I did take one of the honeys home.
Yeah. I took a honey. I took 3 things. I took 1 cheese straw, a honey, and the barbecue sauce.
Has it helped your allergies? Too early to tell.
You know, ironic. I don't really struggle with allergies that much. But I put it in my little breakfast bowl with yogurt and stuff. It was really good.
You know who is a honey collector? What are they even called? The dude that puts on the bee suit? That's a beekeeper. Anyway, our friend Matt Wagner Team Sports.
Oh, are you serious?
He actually bottles his own honey. Yeah, so I had a conversation with him. Actually, we were on the way to Dallas a few weeks ago, but I'm supposed to get some local honey for him. He said it definitely does help the allergies.
Tyler, did you take a barbecue home?
I did not. I did take a little box of cheese straws home.
Yeah,
those cheese straws are pretty strong.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like those.
I took those down already.
I'm a redneck. Give me the Cheez-Its over the cheese straw.
You would rather have a Cheez-It than a cheese straw?
Yeah, I'm not a big cheese straw.
You're insane, Jim.
Listen, Tyler.
A pirate.
This man used to wipe his ass with leaves, Tyler. So
in an outhouse.
Apiarist. I do not know how to say that. Apiarist? Apiarist is a beekeeper.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, that's what Chris is saying as well.
I don't know how to say it.
Boy, the knowledge of some of our guys.
I'm telling you.
So if we call them a beekeeper, why do we have a different name for them? What's wrong with beekeeper?
One seems hard to say, so we went with beekeeper.
Yeah. So let's just go beekeeper.
That's right.
That's what they used to get so mad at me when I did local news. they would have the name of the Turkish defense minister or something.
Right.
And I would just change it to Turkish defense minister.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, why'd you change it? You took out his name.
Nobody knows who he is.
Nobody in Birmingham, Alabama is going to care. I just say the Turkish defense
literally,
minister.
if you did mail on the street to 1,000 people, let's just say that you went to Slice Fest randomly in June and asked 1,000 people his name, what does he do for a living? Nobody would know.
And nobody would care, okay, he says this about America or whatever he was talking about.
Right.
Well, just say, I don't care what his name is. Who does he represent? What does he do?
Turkey. And he said this about America. Okay.
Do I need to worry about him?
Nope.
Okay, no. A Pierist is what Jeremy says.
Okay, a Pierist.
Yeah, that's kind of like trash. Sometimes I just drop the name because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. I mean, you threw a toaster into a bathtub with, your ex-wife and it completely smoked her. You don't really care.
We don't need his name.
We just know you're a Florida man.
Yeah.
Forrester, did you take a barbecue sauce?
Oh, you're going to get to the bottom of this, aren't you?
Absolutely, I did.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's worthy.
There's one.
You can
I
have
put
mine.
barbecue sauce on everything.
I think we have established
I do too,
this. Now,
Scotty.
Forster's going to contradict himself if he agrees. But if it's on the table out there,
That's right.
it's free reign.
It's free reign. Yep.
Free reign at
It
that
had been
point.
out there for at least 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So I did see a delicious cheesecake last year.
Yeah, what are you getting at here, Lance?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I thought it was, it was the end of the day.
That's
it was
right.
weekend.
Took a whole cheesecake with
Now,
it.
if it does say, it didn't have your daughter's name on it. It wasn't like happy birthday. Didn't have the daughter's name on it though, right?
No.
Nope.
Okay. I'd put the name on it.
Speaking of, shout out, best little guy in the world, Jack Taylor, 17 today.
That is
His
incredible.
birthday is
that he's
today.
17. Yeah, that's
I just
incredible.
got a text from Oak Mountain. Your son's not at school.
And you said, I knew it.
I know that.
His
He's
birthday.
missed us for important things. Metallica concert, his birthday. But big celebration tonight. And, can't wait to hang out with him all weekend.
All right, so that's good, and that gets us to 4 downs. Brought to you by our friends at Slice. Our man Ush went over there. I don't know if it was his first time or not. He was acting like his first time. He was sending me pictures and everything.
Can't be.
And I was like,
if we had 1,000 Ushes, that's all we need, right?
The world would be crazy if we did.
I mean, Ush sent me lunch from Champy's yesterday where he sent me a salad. And I looked at my copy. I said, I say 16 things that Champy's has every day. I've never said a salad.
I'm
How'd you
sure
order a
salad's
salad?
delicious. If I'm going to Champy's, I ain't getting a salad.
But he said it was delicious, and
Oh,
he
I'm
said
sure
it had
it
so
is.
much chicken on it, and he missed seeing Sterling. And then he was at Slice last night.
5 locations of Slice. Great opportunity to pick up pizzas all weekend long. The original location, Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. The newest location in Edgewood. Get in, see the Bajalia Brothers. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Drake May, 22 years old today. Now, Jacoby Brissett has been named the starting quarterback for the Patriots. We know that is not going to continue throughout the year. I believe the Patriots might end up being the worst team in the NFL. But if I asked you right now Max Johnson going down last night, who ultimately has more touchdowns this year, Drake May or Connor Harrell at UNC?
I think I would go. Connor Harrell's going to be the starter all year if Johnson is out all year.
Drake May's going to be started by the third quarter next weekend.
Probably.
I just don't see this outside of O'Mary and Hampton running the football. I just don't see this offense doing anything. 4 new starters on that offensive line. Harold's going to be lucky to survive. I think I would go Drake May here, actually.
I'm going to go Drake May here.
Probably so. I just don't know how many touchdowns they're going to score New England, though. What is...
Now do North Carolina.
Well, I agree.
I'll give him 2, max 2 a game.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably Drake May.
Yeah. Let's do second down.
Second down.
Cameron Diaz, 53 years old. Looks still strong for 53.
I was never a huge fan, Lance, to be honest with you.
She was never not dead gorgeous. I thought something about Mary. She had a good look to her in that. Vanilla Sky, good look to her.
Yeah, Cameron Diaz, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, can you give us Cameron Diaz?
Filling Minnesota was an underrated movie with Keanu Reeves, Delroy Lindo.
Something
but
about
she was kind of baby fat, Cameron Diaz. You remember how Drew Barrymore would fluctuate with the weight?
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz did that a little bit. She's had a lot of work done, though.
Yeah, I thought she was sexy hot in The Holiday, too. Yeah.
So, but who did you like better, Cameron Diaz or Kate Winslet? Because I think Kate Winslet's one of those sexy hot.
She is, but Cameron Diaz for me. There's something about Dirty Blonde.
Okay, now, Kate Winslet is one of your favorite scenes of all time, though.
Oh, and Little Children?
Yeah.
On the washer?
Well, that and...
Yeah, where she's getting wore out.
Yeah. And Pay Me Like Your French Girl.
Pay Me Like Your French Girl.
Yeah,
you
those
love
are
that scene.
2 great scenes, but,
Yeah, like Kate Winslet, far left top, right? Oh, no, back. Yep, that one. Nope, down. 1-1.
Right, that one.
I mean, that's just a good,
classic.
sexy.
That's classic.
Yeah.
That is classic. I think I will go Kate Winslet.
I'm going Cameron Diaz.
Okay, well, that wasn't even the question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was, actually.
No.
Okay.
Cameron Diaz, 52 today. Ultimately, better career, Cameron Diaz or Dabo Swinney? And Cameron Diaz has been in a lot of big movies, man. I mean, The Mask, really her first time on the scene.
She has been. Dabo has won 2 national championships. And I do like, who was it that said it earlier this week? Was it Marty that was like, we just don't appreciate what Dabo did because Saban was doing the greatest run in the history of football at the same time.
Yeah, and Dabo did a great 7-year run.
Yeah.
And that most every great dynasty was a 7-year run.
Yeah.
I heard somebody this week say that they believe since the championship or the playoff appearance for Clemson, this is the biggest game Clemson has had.
I mean,
I think if they were to win it, right?
Perception-wise, yes, but Clemson does not lose one thing in their season if they lose this game, you know? I mean, that's the new system we live in. Yeah. I'm going to say Dabo Swinney has had a better career than Cameron Diaz.
I am too.
I'm going to lean Dabo.
Yeah. Dabo's never had anything in his hair. And that's something
that we know of.
Product.
Yeah. You know, somebody said that Kate Winslet would likely, I think it was Samuel said Kate Winslet likely the first pair of boobs he ever saw.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to
well,
start.
your mom
she played kind of
was.
that kind of whorish girl in a lot of movies because
Vanilla Sky, man.
Vanilla Sky, that was Cameron Diaz.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Kate Winslet. I was talking about Kate Winslet in The Reader.
But I went back to Cameron Diaz really quick.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet, not even in the question. Somehow we're on her.
Third down.
Another birthday for you guys. Warren Buffett, 94 years old.
Please don't say better than the late Jimmy Buffett.
No, I was going to ask who had the better career, Warren Buffett or Jimmy Buffett?
I mean,
Warren Buffett is known as one of the greatest businesmen of all time.
Exactly right. But Jimmy Buffett also is.
No, he was. He was.
But Warren Buffett's the answer because he's made so much money.
But I think Jimmy Buffett was worth like $500 million.
Yeah, now Warren Buffett's worth more. But see if what I'm about to say makes sense. Warren Buffett was doing it in a venue where it's easier to make the amount he made. Right? I mean, Jimmy Buffett
was a high-end steakhouse. Jimmy Buffett was doing it at
at a burger shop.
Yeah.
He made his billions at a burger shop, or his $500 million.
That's a great way to compare.
Yeah.
I think I would go Warren Buffett, though.
I think I would, too, just because of the sheer volume.
Just sheer Southern slang, I'll go Rusty. Jimmy Buffett, funner career.
Yeah, he did have a funner career.
He did have a funner career.
Warren Buffett, the fact he still lives in that normal-looking house in Omaha, Nebraska is pretty crazy.
Shane says Jimmy Buffett, by far, people love Jimmy.
They do.
They do, but they love Warren Buffett, too. He gives a lot of his money away, doesn't he?
Well,
he's a pretty good philanthropist.
To deal in finances like that all your life and to make it to 94, with that type of stress, pretty incredible.
You know, I had to do a health I'm on my wife's health plan at the church. It's a good plan, so we go there, and I had to fill out something yesterday. First time I ever had to do this. I had blood work done, then I had to fill out this questionnaire, and one of them was about, do you stress about money? Do you stress?
Wow.
So I've gotten to the point, I guess I'm old enough now, they're afraid I'm going to stroke out being stressed out about stuff.
Yeah.
And I lied. I ended up lying. They were like, do you ever get stressed at work?
Never.
And I went, no.
When do I ever get stressed?
No. This pin's not working.
Yes.
Yeah. Fourth down. Let's do fourth down.
Fourth down.
This one's going to take you a little moment to think. This
Okay.
one's fun. Sean Alexander, former Alabama great, 47 years old today.
Really good
If
career.
I asked you ultimately better career, Sean Alexander or anybody currently on the Alabama roster?
Better overall career?
Yep.
I would take somebody currently on the Alabama roster. So that's...
I think I would take Sean Alexander, former MVP,
He
played in the
was.
Super Bowl.
But I'm also...
was a leading rusher for 2 or 3 years in the NFL. Was on the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
But I'm getting
And
100...
was good at Alabama.
But I'm getting 105 guys.
Yep.
Come on,
Probably...
You're not getting 105 guys.
I am, but probably... What percentage of those guys get a shot at the NFL? 25% of that 105?
On that roster, yeah.
30%?
Yeah, probably 25, 30%.
I mean, the walk-ons, to getting them to 105, none of those guys are going to the NFL.
Yeah, that's my point. There's 100, if you'll follow me here, Jim. 105 guys, all right, on that roster. 35%, 25, 30% get a shot at the NFL. So now I'm talking 30, 35 guys that get a shot at having a better career than him, I think I'll take that.
I was about to bring up what Landmine Believer said. If I had to go with an Alabama player, it would be Ryan Williams.
Never seen him take a snap.
I have never seen him take a snap, but people are already raving about the kid and what receivers are making now and the impact that they are, not only at the collegiate level, but especially at the NFL. I think I would take Ryan Williams, but I still would hold with Sean Alexander what I've seen.
Do this real quick. What Saban-era players have absolutely had a better pro career than Sean Alexander?
There's 15.
An absolutely better pro career than Sean Alexander.
Well, I say there's 15.
I don't know if it's 15.
Yeah. Mika Fitzpatrick
it's a different
really
position,
good.
so
yeah.
you just
it's
it's
really
hard
good.
to compare. Yeah,
but doesn't get talked about.
Patrick Surtain could. Marlon Humphreys had a tremendous.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that back. I'm sitting here thinking now
5 or 6.
I mean, Julio Jones did.
He did.
I mean, but
it's not popping
Julio
up.
Jones
though.
was in a Super Bowl, lost it. Sean Alexander in a Super Bowl, lost it. But Julio was never the MVP.
He wasn't.
Sean played in a time. I mean, but even back then, how good do you have to be at running back to be the MVP? Pretty darn good.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's probably had a better career.
I would say Derrick Henry was a better running back.
I think Devontae Smith could.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that he is going to make the transition to their number one guy this year.
And Devontae in front of A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
Julio and Henry are the only 2 Saban Hall of Famers so far.
Yeah, I would agree with Landmine Believer.
Now, you say that, but, I mean, aren't they locked into the Hall of Fame? I mean, a Marlon Humphrey could easily play his way into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
and Patrick Surtain could play his way into the Hall of Fame.
I think Mika Fitzpatrick could be a Hall of Famer.
He probably could,
I mean, we go offense so easily because it's easy to judge what a Hall of Famer is. It's harder to judge what Dante Hightower could be a Hall of Famer. He was such a big part of the New England
C.J.
dynasty.
Mosley's had a great career.
Yeah.
Quentin Williams still getting it done.
Kareem Jackson's still playing.
Yeah.
He will one day.
I mean, Jonathan Allen, I don't know what stats he puts up, but he's a stud on a team that's just not great. So
I don't know. It's a tough one. I would probably take this roster just because I get 35 guys, but the odds would say it's Sean Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think Najee Harris may have been a better all-around back. No.
Maybe all around, but I'm just talking about the next level. There's no way.
Just in college, the better backs than Sean Alexander. Derrick Henry definitely was.
Yeah. I think Najee Harris was too.
I don't know.
It was.
I mean, Sean didn't play on those great teams. Do you remember what he did to LSU on the road?
I
was actually at that game.
Were you?
Dude, still running.
It's like 290 yards.
It was crazy.
4 touchdowns.
I was at that game.
And a half, basically.
Amazing how many places in the past we've all been to together.
I know.
Didn't even realize it.
I'm in one of the Alabama pictures. I'm a blur as Alexander's running by one of his touchdown runs. They have.
Are you jumping up and down?
I'm in the back. Surprisingly, I'm not. I'm standing there. My mouth's open, though. I'm going. That's exactly what I'm doing. All right, that is 4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, get into one of those 5 locations this weekend, from the Hot Mama to the Soul Pie, the Wing and a Prayer, the Bajaya Special. You're going to love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Funny line from Josh just flew by in the mybookie.ag chat room. We were talking about when Taylor said all the post-game stuff's not going to be on behind any paywalls on Saturdays. Then Tyler was chiming in and said people were asking him about certain content behind the paywall, and he said that content's not behind the paywall. We have more stuff, da-da-da-da-da. And then playing off what you asked Forrester, Josh says, are there any cheesecakes behind the paywall?
That was Scott's problem. He didn't put it behind the paywall. This cheesecake's premium content, Lance. Do not take it.
I didn't even get a slice.
You got it home, though, didn't you?
TheBarnAuburn.com and CoverCrimson.com. Go enjoy their content all weekend long. When we come back, more college football talk, trash, and then our pick 3 picks coming up at 11:45. Don't forget, nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Go there and play the Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3. 3-0 gets you into the drawing at the end of the year for the grand prize. Get in there as many times as you can. This is the next round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, Football Friday. The keg is tapped. Happy Football Friday, LT.
Happy Football Friday, man. Really excited. I've got to, this will probably be my only beer on panel today because we have a last call coming up right at noon. You guys are going to be doing a mystery fifth hour, and I've got what I deem the most interesting man in Alabama. I've always said that. He will sit down with me at 12 o'clock, and we're going to do 30 minutes. Probably drink a little bourbon.
He's got a resume I've never seen.
Well, I mean, it's a former SEC standout.
That's right.
He is a actor in big movies.
That's right.
He is a former bodyguard.
Correct.
And he is a Navy SEAL.
That is right. A bodyguard to people, when the name is called, you'll be like, oh, I know that person.
Yeah.
Not just a bodyguard.
So that's coming up. Stella, Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
And, of course, our friends at Bud Light. And look who remembered what we had. How about me pulling out the Mick Ultra Next Round?
I forgot we had that because I don't remember having Ultra on tap up here. And I told Danielle yesterday, hey, do you have, one of the pour handles? And she was like, I'll get you one. But I can tell her now we don't need it.
We'll have two if she gets us one.
First time they brought it to us, it was Bud Light and Ultra up there. And you asked for a Stella. And then quickly the next run was Stella and Bud Light. And now we're back to Michelob Ultra and the bottled Bud Lights. Icing down back there.
That's fantastic.
The kind you get at game day.
See, I would love to have one of these at the house. We're very fortunate that Adams is nice enough to send somebody to clean the tubes every couple of weeks. But having, and I'm sure there's listeners right now and viewers over there in our chat room that have a kegerator at home. I never have because I've heard it is a pain in the ass to
just
clean.
to keep it all clean.
Yeah, because if you got bad taps, it's skunky beer.
Yeah, if you go to a bar that's not blessed, keeping their lines clean, it's not a good experience.
Oh, there's one place I love going to, but their Stella, for whatever reason, is skunked up, so I can't drink it there.
Skunked up.
It is.
Hey, this hour is brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Perfect for your tailgate, for watching football tonight. Our man Ush was by there yesterday. That chicken right there, dead center, is brined overnight, every night. Cooked to order when you go in. So when you place an order, 2 big breasts, I want all white meat, they said, okay. And it takes just a little bit longer, but it comes out piping hot. It's fresh. It's so good. Started off with a little Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. That's Sterling right there. Great customer service. Highway 119 in Alabaster. It's our friends right there at champyschicken.com. So excited as the football season gets rolling. NFL starts back on Thursday night. Can't wait to see Kaylin DeBoer in his first game this weekend. Tyler, if you'll give me cut five. This is from the Hey Coach show back on Wednesday night. Chris Stewart, the host, Kaylin DeBoer, the coach. So the Hey Coach show, and he's still taking calls.
Unlike Dabo?
Unlike Dabo. So he's still taking calls. He's undefeated as the Alabama coach. So he's only lost 12 games his whole career, so he doesn't know what it's like getting bad phone calls at the coach's show. But this to me, and you guys listen and see if you agree with me, this is a snapshot of the person I believe in, and I've only known him, we've only met him probably 6 or 7 times now, about 30 minutes each time. But I think this is the snapshot of who I think Kaylin DeBoer really is as a person. Watch this exchange.
It's Alex in Savannah, Tennessee. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
How do you think the defense is going to be?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, Savannah, Tennessee, in Hardin County there?
How do you know that?
How do I know that? Because I've played 4 national championships there. In that very town. So, know exactly where you're at.
That's a flex right there.
How awesome is that?
4. Not, hey, we played some national championship games there. We played 4.
Played some games there. Played 4 national championship games there.
I like the color. Was like, how'd you know that?
How'd you know that?
You guys give me examples of what seemed to be surefire hires that couldn't miss, that turned into disasters. Some people believe that with Jimbo Fisher. I never believed it.
You did not say that with Jimbo Fisher to your
never
fans.
believed
I think most
it.
people thought that, though.
I thought Rich Rodriguez would be much better at Michigan.
See, I didn't believe that. Dunaway and I, we were not together at the time, but I'll never forget, because he almost took the Alabama job. He coached 1 more year at West Virginia, right?
That's right.
Then the Michigan job. I remember us doing a show, Dunaway, and he was doing the press conference.
Right.
And we just said, that does not look right. Him standing in front of the Michigan logo does not look right.
He didn't look like a Michigan
That's
man.
right. Yeah, he did not look like a man. It just did not feel right, did not look right. I did not think that was
I think people are giving bad examples. Dan Mullen, look, I thought he would do a lot better at Florida. He had 1 really good year, but Mullen never had this type of resume. Chip Kelly was going to a worse job at UCLA. I never thought that was going to be anything great.
No, not at
Did
all.
a solid job there.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin at USC had no scholarship guys, was still a young coach. Scott Frost was going to Nebraska.
Yeah, I didn't think only because of Nebraska. If Scott Frost had taken another job, I thought the Nebraska job was fundamentally.
Okay, we finally got one.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to say is Tom Herman, Florida Atlantic now.
No, not for me.
Oh, I thought he was.
No, Brown did not ever think that Tom Herman would win championships. I thought Tom Herman was going to be really good too.
I tried to tell you guys that y'all are forgiving Tom Herman for his last year at Houston, and he should not be forgiven for that. It was a guy that.
Well, I meant him going to Houston.
Well,
I thought you meant him going to Texas.
No, him going to
he
Houston.
He would win big
to
games at Houston, but then he would lose games that he wasn't supposed to.
Everybody made Tom Herman out like he was this amazing coach, and I used to always say, guys, his last year at Houston, he had a team everybody said could make the playoffs, could be the first Group of 5 team in the playoffs, non-big team in the playoffs, and they lost 4 games. They didn't even finish ranked.
But Tom Herman still didn't have the resume that Kaylin DeBoer has. I think we might have 2 examples going on right now. We'll see it Sunday night. Lincoln Riley at USC and Brian Kelly at LSU.
Both seem like home runs.
Both, yeah, and like up until this point, both have been solid. Like I'd give them like Bs, maybe a B- for Lincoln Riley.
Seth, another good one. Cristobal at Miami. Far when he left Oregon,
but he still wasn't as proven as DeBoer.
Oh, no.
I mean,
like I don't know how this doesn't work.
You are all in. You are absolutely all in.
Would you guys give me that? Now, maybe it ends up being Lincoln Riley where, 8-5 last year, which would be a disaster.
So, landmine believer, Brown, to your point, though, sometimes the media gets things wrong. I can't always blame Tom Herman for the way Houston went. Liberty was supposed to be a playoff contender, unbeaten team last year. Hugh was there. They lost some games they weren't supposed to lose.
I've never said – I think Hugh Freeze is a really good coach. I've never put him in the elites, though. And people were talking about Tom Herman like Texas has finally got their Nick Saban. Texas has finally got their Kirby Smart. That Tom Herman was just going to go win anything he wanted at Texas, that he was the hottest coach in any job he took. He was going to be the best coach in America. And I just always pointed out his last year at Houston didn't tell you that. And sure enough, he was more like his last year at Houston at Texas than anything else.
Well, listen, we get things wrong sometimes, and on this show we call it Deadwood. It's brought to you by our friends at Grace Tree Service. I was wrong on Tom Herman. I was wrong on Jimbo Fisher, too. I'll go ahead and tell you.
I was wrong on Fisher.
I thought Fisher was going to be really good down there. Now, if you've got some dead wood out in your yard, Grace Tree Service is the people to call.
They are trusted by nearly every golf course in town. The Birmingham Zoo, there is no competition. Family owned and operated for over 25 years right here in Birmingham. Experts in high-risk tree removals, pruning, also the soil health treatment to strengthen your trees and plants. Had 4 trees extracted a couple of months ago. Rocky's had grays out at his house. Reed's had grays out at his house. Make the call that we made best in the business, 205-281-6100. Hurricane season is supposed to be the worst in years. Don't wait to get your tree work done. Protect your house and family today, 205-281-6100. Scan that QR code right now or visit graystree.com.
Okay, Grace Tree Service there. Okay, I'm gonna ask some yes/no questions, so keep the answers short. Cade Klubnik, better quarterback this year than he was last year? Do you think Cade Klubnik is a better quarterback than he was last year?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me a little short answer.
You said
Kevin.
yes.
Kevin. I think Kevin Turner's kid is going to be really good.
You think? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just think year 2 of Garrett Riley has got to improve. I believe more in Garrett Riley than what he showed last year.
See, I will say that when he left TCU, I remember saying, I don't understand the hype behind this guy because the quarterback at TCU bailed him out.
That's right.
At every turn during their run to the national championship.
Maybe if his name were Garrett Jones, I wouldn't believe as much in him. Yeah. Lincoln Riley, though, say what you want about a head coach. Lincoln Riley's had failures as a head coach because he doesn't commit enough to defense. Lincoln Riley is one of the best offensive coaches we've ever seen in college football.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best offensive coaches.
Well, I mean, if Miller Moss goes out and puts up the same numbers as Caleb Williams, he doesn't have bad quarterback play.
Every quarterback plays for the guy just puts up massive numbers.
Can't wait for 11 o'clock on Fox tomorrow, the big noon kickoff, Penn State, West Virginia, with our buddy Joe Klatt. Better quarterback in that game, in your opinion, Drew Aller and Garrett Green?
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller, though, he's been less than I thought he would be.
Well, they've kind of cuffed him. He hasn't had a deep threat, and he's got 2 tremendous backs in Allen and Singleton. So, I'd like to see them open it up a little bit more. I mean, they scored 36 points per game. He only turned the football over twice all of last year. Garrett Green is more like a swashbuckling guy that improvises, can run all over the field. He will make multiple mistakes a lot of times in games and turn the football over. But I think both are really good quarterbacks, but I would say Aller.
Better quarterback in the Miami or Florida game, Cam Ward or Graham Mertz?
Cam Ward, but I do think we sleep on Graham Mertz. Everybody says, you know what, he was a game manager last year, completed over 70% of his passes, but he's not that good. People tend to forget he was the highest ever recruit signed by the University of Wisconsin, and it just didn't work out there. And year 1 at Florida was really good. But Cam Ward's a special quarterback. He's threw for almost 7,000 yards, a slew of touchdowns the last 2 years in Pullman, was really good at incarnate word. The guy gets better and better.
Graham Mertz, a game manager, yards per game, which doesn't sound like a game manager stat to me. Normally high yards per game does not make you a game manager. He was in front of these guys: Jackson Dart, Brady Cook, Joe Milton, who's, by the way, on an NFL roster. Joe Milton was kept by the Patriots. Jalen Milroe, who's a Heisman favorite, one of the Heisman favorites. He was in front of all those guys in yards per game last year. So tell me how he's a game manager. I think his numbers versus what Florida did last year don't add up.
They do not. That's why I think there's room for Florida to exceed everybody's, the swamp is burning projections this year.
If I did blind resume, guys, blind resume, I say I've got a quarterback for you guys. He's throwing for almost 265 yards a game. He's completing 73% of his passes, and his touchdown to interception is 20-3. What would you think that team did?
I mean, the floor would be 8 wins.
I mean, it doesn't add up how he could put those numbers up in the 11 games he played, and Florida's record was what it was. It just doesn't make sense.
Furman touched on this about an hour ago. Notre Dame goes to Kyle Field, primetime ABC tomorrow night. Their starting offensive line, he pointed out, no seniors. It's not just they have no seniors, they have no juniors. They have 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen starting on that offensive line. I'll say it again for you in the back. 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen. Now, they're good.
And they're playing where, Jim?
They're in Kyle Field, 102,000 towel-waving lunatics.
Loud stadium.
And Mike Elko has a really good front four. They bought every single good player they could down at Texas A&M, and they all didn't leave with Jimbo Fisher.
Not all of them.
Mike Elko can dial it up. But Notre Dame's got a good defense. If I asked you when the night is over in College Station, are we more impressed with Notre Dame's defense or Texas A&M's defense? Because Connor Wegman, I think, will be on the run a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be kind of a defensive struggle. I like A&M. The public's kind of keeping me away from this game, though.
I don't know what the over-under, the total is on this one.
Oh, it's low.
But this could be a 17.
46.5.
What is it?
46.5.
Oh, it's not low enough.
That's a low total.
So you're going to go low, huh?
But this should be like a service academy.
Okay, let me take that back.
17-10.
Shootout.
I would change that.
17-10 is what Bruce Feldman projects here.
So you think this is like 2 service academy teams played?
I'll tell you, man, these unders are cashing.
Hey, that's my theme this week. That's all I'm playing is unders. I'm playing unders.
I think it's just. I think it's fewer possessions. I think it still is running clock. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Boy, I tell you what. Again, last night, mismanagement of the 2-minute warning.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that in North Dakota State? And it's the end of the first half, so it's not changing the game. But for some reason, North Dakota State or either team just let it run down.
But you know who did it correctly was Minnesota and North Carolina. They handled the clock the way you should handle the clock, and they both got field goal attempts on their drives. And while they were holding them, Minnesota didn't panic and didn't call a timeout before the 2-minute warning. He waited for the 2-minute warning, then used his timeouts, forced the field goal, and then back the other way. Still had a timeout left. I thought both of those guys handled the 2-minute warning perfectly.
Currently, mybookie.ag, A&M's -3, and the total is 46. That's where you get it at mybookie.ag right now if you're interested.
46. Any concern at all that Florida State on Monday night, we'll have a little more time, but we'll be reacting so much, but Labor Day night, any concern at all that Florida State could lose this game?
I have not. They were a 17-point favorite, Lance, and they were how big of a favorite over Georgia Tech that they lost?
About 10.5.
10.
Yep. 10.
All right, so they're even a touchdown more against Boston College in this game. Is in a reduced capacity, by the way, Doak Campbell. This is not going to be full force Doak Campbell. I think, Jim, have you seen? I think it's like 50,000 people that they'll have in there this year.
That's right, because they're restructuring, rebuilding, actually lessening the overall total of attendance, but it'll be really limited during their building.
I think it's only 50,000, so it's not going to be full-fledged Doak Campbell, which could be a difficult place to play. I saw some people earlier, Florida State fans in the mybookie.ag chat room, like, don't give this game to Florida State. Boston College gives us fits. And these are Florida State fans.
They
that are
did last year, and
Yeah.
they scored 13 unanswered in the fourth. It was a 2-point game. Thomas Castellanos, he did give them fits. I mean, ran for almost 100 yards, threw for over 300. I just think the only thing that scares me possibly about this game is Florida State still a little jet lag, not only from coming from Europe back to the States, but also from that loss to Georgia Tech. If they can regroup, and Mike Norvell can tell them in the 12-team playoff world, all you guys have got to do is take care of business moving forward. It literally is one game at a time. I think they can skull drag Boston College. I think Florida State will make a statement.
All right, Florida State has won 5 straight in this game, in this matchup.
It feels different when it's at Chestnut Hill than it is in Tallahassee.
But listen to these games. Going back to 2018, Tallahassee, 22-21, Florida State. Chestnut Hill the next year, 38-31, Florida State. Back in Chestnut Hill in 21, 26-23, Florida State. You see a theme here?
Yep.
All these are tight games. Now, back in 22 in Tallahassee, the last time it was played in Tallahassee, it was 44-14 Florida State. But then last year, as Lance brought up the other day, that was one of the toughest wins for Florida State in their run to that undefeated regular season.
Best thing that could have happened to Jeff Hafley, who was on a hot seat last year at BC, wins 8 games, becomes Green Bay's defensive coordinator. Now Bill O'Brien, the era begins there, and they've got a lot of rebuild. And not only the rebuild, they were 83rd in points allowed. They were 80th in total offense. I mean, they were bad on both sides of the ball. And you're going to get a mad as hornet Florida State team. And I think DJU actually plays a big game.
Yeah, and Bill O'Brien, Castellanos doesn't look like a Bill O'Brien style quarterback.
No, not really.
Yeah, so it's going to be weird to see him calling so much run. All right, upsets. Ferman says he likes UNLV over Houston. It's only 2.5.
Yeah, that's not really an upset.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got one team that is a complete rebuild, and UNLV's coming off the best year they've had since they joined the Mountain West in 1999.
And UNLV's a hot play, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of a smart guy play.
Jade Maeva, who was their quarterback and was so good. They run this go-go offense. I mean, they get after it on that tempo. But Maeva's off to USC to back up Miller Moss now, so you're breaking in a new quarterback. Now you have what is one of the best receivers in all of college football that nobody knows about. Ricky White III was a third-team All-American last year, just scorched all the numbers in UNLV record books. This UNLV team is fun to watch. And, for Houston, it is year one, Willie Fritz. Guess how many newcomers on this Houston roster?
Let's see. There were 72 last night for Colorado, it felt like.
Yeah, it's not going to be that many. I'll say 42, though. I was going to say 42.
50, and even 50.
63.
Oh,
63.
dang.
So you got new coach, and I like Willie Fritz, but you got 63. Now, the good news is you got Donovan Smith at quarterback, and he will be the best quarterback on the field. He is really good, but I don't know what you got around him.
Until right now, I forgot that Willie Fritz was there. Until right now.
Odom was one of the big stories last year, though, for what he did at UNLV.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an interesting story. They had to convince their administration to pay the rent to play games at the Raiders Stadium.
Yep.
At Allegiant Stadium. They were playing at that old, I think it's Sam Boyd is the name of it. It's an off-campus, just random stadium in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they went to the administration like, look, it was the deal, if you'll build it, they will come. If you'll pay to play there, we'll get a better crowd. And the administration's like, all right, let's try it. So they did it, and they got better crowds, and they were good. I mean, it was actually a pretty cool story last year at UNLV.
And Barry Odom, who got the job after Bobby Petrino took it and then decided to go be a coordinator in Arkansas.
Yeah, and he had a breakout year after getting fired at Missouri.
Barry Odom, obviously, this is a good fit for him. But I mentioned the go-go offense. 35 points per game last year. Brennan Marion is the guy that runs this. And if you like fast up-tempo offense, this is a name to watch. They win 9 games last year. If they were to win 8 or 9 games again this year, I think he gets a job.
Tony, who's listening to us over in the state of Mississippi, says, you guys talking about Colorado having the best wide receiver room in the country.
We said possibly.
He says, I believe Ole Miss has the best wide receiver room in the country.
Okay, well, it starts with Trey Harris.
Usually I go to Ohio State. I mean, either one of these better than Ohio State's
Luka,
receiving room.
you got the true freshman now. Cornell Tate's back. I mean, Ohio State is going to be right up there.
Jeremiah Smith's that kid's name, right?
I'm just saying that we know that Travis Hunter, you could at least make an argument, is the best wide receiver in football. And then Jimmy Horn Jr., what he did last night.
Is he Joe's son?
Yeah.
Yeah, former Saint.
Well,
right?
how was he?
Yeah, we've had Joe on the show.
So Joe was technically named Jimmy Horn then.
Maybe.
Because I was watching that game last night and I was like, I think that's Joe Horn's son.
But
and
the names don't match.
One time Roddy Jones actually called him Joe Horn. And I was like, I don't think Roddy would just make that mistake. But his name's Jimmy Horn Jr., so his dad's got to be Jimmy Horn Sr., right?
My favorite part last night was when they were holding him down there. Matt, was that holding? They bring Matt Austin in. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Usually I don't think Matt likes to call out officials on judgment calls and rule plays.
Yeah.
But then anytime else when I thought there was a push-off or anything, I never got hey, Matt, was that pushing off on Travis Hunter there? Never got one of those back.
Hey, by the way, I mean, for what it's worth, I don't know how often you'll see that crew. Roddy Jones used to do a lot of ACC network stuff. I think he's a really good analyst.
Oh, I like him.
I don't know if y'all paid that close attention to him in the game last night.
And he's young.
Yeah, he's young. Former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, right?
I'm glad they split up Mark Jones and Rod Gilmore.
I agree, too.
Wasn't he? Was it Jones and RG3 last year? And RG3
maybe,
yeah,
but it was but the year before, 2 years before.
Yeah. I like Roddy Jones though. He's a good analyst.
Real quick on, I mentioned Trey Harris. Trey Harris is fantastic. Dayton Wade, your second leading receiver, onto the NFL. Who did Ole Miss get through the transfer portal at wide receiver?
That's a great question.
Because am I missing something? They didn't even have a 1,000-yard receiver last year.
No, they did. They got the. Not a kid from Texas. It's the kid from Texas. No, it's not the kid from Texas A&M. He went to Oregon.
Is it the kid from UTSA? Maybe it is.
They got him, and they got somebody else from another SEC school, I think. I'll check in the break. Remember when Steve Shaw told us this show that there would be less commercials? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Walker, commercials are part of it. And for instance, our show today being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing.
You got a contact at Pepperidge Farm?
Yeah, they're going to be commercials, guys. There were no more commercials in those games last night than there are any other time. There are going to be commercials.
It's the reason you get to watch it for a very low cost.
There were no added commercial breaks because of the 2-minute warning, and he explained that to you. They moved one that they try to squeeze in early on. There's several games I was watching last night. You had a touchdown and you didn't go to a commercial break.
Yep.
They reacted, they showed a replay, and they went to a kickoff. Right? That happened.
Yes.
I mean, that happened several times. You rarely see that. You used to rarely see that. It'd be touchdown, extra point, commercial break. Last night there were a couple of times on games I was watching, there was not a commercial break after a touchdown.
Yeah. Now it got moved to the 2-minute warning, but still, you had that break out of the way.
Yeah. Nobody said it was going to be less commercials. It would be no more commercials, and I don't think there was last night. So I'll defend my man.
Juice Wells is what everybody's saying, by the way, now. In the that was the receiver we're talking about there.
Where's he from?
South Carolina.
Yeah,
South Carolina. Yeah. All right, Storm Restoration Roofing. That's owned by our buddy Greg from Pell City. They got somebody from Alabama, didn't they?
Amos.
Yeah, Trey Amos, the DB. God, he's good. 20 years locally owned. That's Storm Restoration Roofing. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by insurance agents. Free no-cost roof inspection. They can handle storm repairs, roof replacements. The number to call is Greg's cell number, 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531. I mean, sometimes, heck, just text Greg and say, man, my roof's okay right now. I'm going to text you one day when I need you. But what about the Tide? He loves to talk Tide football. 205-542-3531. Or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America. September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, Kids Zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Back with you on the next round. I don't want to ask Forrester to change the camera angle or anything, but look who walked in the door. The old Nelson boys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Greg
I can't even tell.
City.
I mean, hell, Greg's lost so much weight, I can't even tell them apart now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know it's fun.
The women do.
Greg from Pell City's in the house. We just talked about Greg from Pell City.
You know what would be good content? You're not spoken for, are you? You're a single man? Yeah, single man.
There's a girlfriend right now watching the show saying, I can't believe you just said that.
If we did a Bachelor with him.
He's
all in, isn't he, Jim? Yep.
Pick me.
Greg's son.
Make sure you're single next April, right after the Final Four. We'll make it a summer thing.
Yeah, Greg's son is a single man, and we could set him up.
He'll get a sponsor. We'll do Tinder or something.
Yeah, we get Tinder sponsored.
Yeah, and we'll do it. We'll call it swipe left, swipe right.
Ashley Madison's still in business, according to that documentary on Netflix. That money spent.
Champy's Chicken bringing you this part of the show, always hour number 3 of the show. The folks from Storm Restoration Roofing swing by there all the time when they're working down in that area. Sterling's built a great business down there over 10 years. It's hard to believe he's been there over 10 years in that one location. Highway 119 in Alabaster, champy'schicken.com. Just great food for lunch, and it's fun for your tailgates as well. Swing by there and enjoy the tailgate. Just looking at McAfee on one of the TVs, he's got about, looks to be 100,000 fans outside at West Virginia. He went to school there. He's a god there.
And this is one great dedication to your alma mater. That dude has got to do a show tomorrow from College Station, Texas. And rather than just go there, he knows his alma mater's got a big game against Penn State. I appreciate that. I mean, I know McAfee's a polarizing guy. Some people like him, some don't. I very much like him. But I think that's pretty cool that he'd go back to West Virginia. Yeah. The easy thing would be...
Because that game's on Fox.
That's right. They're not even going to be there tomorrow.
That's right.
He's got to be all the way in College Station for 8 a.m. tomorrow.
And they've got Gary Green on right now, the quarterback, who is drinking water. But,
he's got a mullet.
Yeah. But he looks about as West Virginia as you can look.
He does.
I love his Neil Brown shirt. Do you see it?
What's that?
He's got a custom Neil Breezy. And just different pictures of Neil Brown on there.
That's fantastic.
So ready to roll in College Station.
Boy, that's good.
And there in Morgantown.
That's going to be a wild environment.
I did a podcast last night with this guy, and I was like, I would feel so much better about West Virginia. And I don't think this number would be 8 if this game was played at night. I think this number would be more like 5.5. I just think 11 o'clock is just too early. Now, I know they probably will start drinking now and will drink all the way until kick and the conclusion of the game.
Yes.
But
that's how you end up burning couches.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I just think it would be so different if this was a primetime game.
Dunaway, let's burn your couch. After enough beers, you're like, let's do it. Let's do it. Where's the matches?
I don't like his couch.
Where's the matches? All right, Trash Time brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Tyler, Rockstar's back next week. You've done a great job all week long. You think you have enough energy in it to push that button one more time?
Congratulations, the Cure Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
The landmine is on fire.
It is on fire.
0-2 on week 0, 0-2 on Thursday night.
Oh, wow.
Boy, we've had two entertaining, though. Week 0 was very entertaining last night.
I agree. You left studio a little bit ago, and he was like, I
think I like Week 0 better.
I was like, damn, I thought last night I was thoroughly entertained. Three over. The North Dakota State, the North Dakota State Colorado game was fantastic.
Yeah, you had 2 games go down to the final play.
Yeah. Minnesota and UNC, and then I loved Coastal Carolina Jack State because I had a big play on Coastal Carolina.
But Georgia, you're acting like Georgia Tech and Florida State and SMU and Nevada didn't go down to the final place.
They did. That's why they were entertaining. I said both nights were entertaining.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I do have one unsettled bet. I hate when I do player props and then accidentally put in a tonight's game. But it's not popping up for me right now for some reason.
Well, Lance is going to want to know.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
It's is Malusi playing tonight? I think he's got to go over a certain number of yards from
Jazz Malusi for Wisconsin?
Yeah. He's got to go.
Probably not playing now.
I love Dunaway's got a player problem.
Yeah.
Is he playing tonight?
Yeah, does he?
Is he on the team?
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. 205-900-7200 or online mortgageright.com/TNR, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. Former attorney using the name of a movie vigilante has been convicted of a dark web murder plot to kill a Scots prosecutor.
Okay.
Martin Reddy targeted Darren Hardy and planned to have him gunned down in a, quote, gangland-style execution. 41-year-old ex-commercial contract solicitor had gone to a site called Online Killers Market to try and organize the hit.
That's smart. Yeah. If I need an online killer,
that's where I'm going to go.
I'm going to Google that right away.
You know, this is what's crazy. This is actually on the dark web.
Yeah.
Like, you can go and find a contract killer.
Can I ask this question? I'm not going to do it. Lunceford is not here. He's out today. He was with Thompson last night. Tyler, can you get on the dark web? Do you know how to get on the dark web?
Yeah, so there's a program called Tor that will reroute it to these .onion sites.
Yeah,
so after
that made no sense to me.
But you don't want that because, you know, Maddie studied a lot of computer stuff in school. And they had to navigate the dark web on certain things.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, pulling up where a human is on a spit being roasted.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. So have you gone on the dark web?
I mean, I have. It was a thing me and my friends would do in high school. But I mean,
what was the worst thing you saw?
Really nothing. Just like sort of marketplace eBay type pages for like guns and drugs
organs
and everything
else. Human organs, are they on there? Can I buy human organs?
I didn't see any.
You did not see
I
human
assume
organ?
if you went looking for it, you would find
Most
it.
anything's there, right?
Nothing on there is indexed like it is with Google. Like with Google, you type in keywords and it'll pull it up. That's not how it works on the dark web. So you would have to go specifically looking for something awful to find it.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But you know, I brought up the story of the College of Charleston, the kids that had the drug ring. They were buying all of their stuff there. They bought the pill presser or whatever. So, yeah, you can find a lot of stuff, including this website. Now, Reddy used the alias Harry Brown, the same name as the main character in the 2009 Michael Caine film, which took it upon himself to get revenge for his only friend being murdered. Now, Reddy told jurors he effectively turned vigilante to try and wipe out crime from his hometown. He alleged that Mr. Hardy's family ran a bar which was used by criminals to launder dirty money. Now, the murder would have then, quote, shone a light and sparked a police probe. But Reddy claimed he was delusional at the time and believed he was a, quote, evil Jesus figure. Jurors heard how Reddy had gone on the dark web, which ultimately turned out to be a front for a lucrative scam. A total of 0.29 Bitcoin valued at over $5,000 was transferred to the online killer's market as payment for the assassination of Mr. Hardy. Trial heard graphic messages of what Reddy wanted done to Mr. Hardy. He wanted him to be tracked from the pub at night in an area with no CCTV or potential witnesses. He went on to say first 2 rounds in the target's forehead in an execution style. He also downloaded the photo of his target from the internet. In court, Reddy said, quote, I wanted it to make it look like a gangland execution.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, though.
Did this guy just wake up from a nap and he slept wrong on the pillows and sheets? He's got wrinkles in his forehead.
Yeah. There might be worry wrinkles because he's about to go away for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen vertical forehead wrinkles
That is
before.
weird. I would agree with you, Tyler. That is odd.
I mean, instead of the island, should we just send these type criminals to the dark well?
Well, I mean, this
Let them
guy
be
was
roasted on spigots and stuff. Just like feeding rats to anacondas.
A human skewer.
I mean, just
I would really like to know about this Mr. Hardy. Was he really a crime boss?
Probably not. The article went on to say that this guy had also accused his stepmom or something of being involved in some shady stuff, and basically thinks the world's out to get him. This is someone not doing very well right now.
Okay.
This guy looks a little bit like my buddy Ryan Lemon, who works with Kentucky Sports Radio.
Patrick says Dollar General Matthew Broderick.
I mean, I see a little Tom Sizemore meets Steve-O meets Chris Vernon.
You know you got it.
Yes. Little Chris Vernon. That may have been who
Tom Sizemore, Steve-O, and Chris Vernon had a baby together. That's that guy.
Is that pretty good?
Yep, that's fantastic.
A single bottlenose dolphin is believed to be behind a series of attacks on swimmers at a Japanese seaside town.
That's a good sign for football season.
Possibly,
Let me hear more.
this is sad, out of loneliness. Japanese broadcaster NHK reported on August 20th that a man in his 50s was bitten on both hands that morning by a dolphin that approached him.
I didn't think they bite you.
In the past 3 years, 48 people in the area have suffered dolphin bites, NHK reported, leaving some with broken bones. Although it has not been confirmed, the attacks in recent years are widely believed to have been carried out by the same male bottlenose dolphin. Now, the attacks have consistently involved a single dolphin that appears to be on his own, which is unusual considering bottlenose dolphins are a highly social species that sticks closely together in pods. Now, injuries on the dorsal fin of the dolphin involved in the August 20th attack matched those of a dolphin spotted off the coast last year, said a researcher from University, adding that the bites appear to be playful, suggesting the dolphin mainly just wants to interact with humans.
Oh, okay. Just a little dog-like gnawing. It's ironic that it's the dolphin that is injuring people. Usually it's the dolphin that is on the way to the injury tent.
That's right, injury reserve, yes.
I'm
just glad to know dolphins.
Sorry, Greg.
I'm glad to know dolphins have a violent side to them, because I think if you look in the NFL, the majority of your championships are won by teams that have mascots that got a bad side to them.
Well, the Sharks will not mess with dolphins.
No, they will not mess with dolphins.
No, see, there you go. But see, think about that. Think the majority of your Super Bowls, like Chiefs, an Indian chief, they could be very violent people. They had a lot of wars. The Indians did, right?
Yep.
Well, they did.
It's my people.
I'm sorry, Jim, but your people fought. How do you think you got the land that we took?
Yeah.
You fought for it.
We had to fight for it, bro.
Yeah.
Ludacris back in the news.
Really?
By the way, Neil Brown has got a really, really thick goatee now.
Boy, he does. I've never seen him with a goatee. That's a new off-season look for him, isn't it?
He's trying to look a little
West Virginian.
Yeah.
Mountain Mama.
Well, this is weird.
You know, Holgerson had the
sings Hot in
incredible.
Here, right?
Ludacris does not sing Hot in Here. That's Nelly.
Nelly.
Swing and a miss. Drinking fresh glacial water was on the Atlanta rapper and actor Ludacris's bucket list, and while he got to check this experience off earlier this week, he left some fans concerned about his health. Now, while in Alaska for a show, Ludacris posted on his social media pages a video of him drinking water from a glacier.
Yeah, this has been debunked, I think, that this is safe water just to drink without any sort of filter.
Yeah, I'm not sure it is either.
I don't know why I would drink it, but...
Why would you? Because if I'm there... There's not. I mean, in any of those three pictures, does anybody see a bathroom?
No.
So if I got to pee, where am I peeing?
You're
I'm peeing
gonna pee
on the
right there
glacier.
off the glacier.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you know what else? You don't see people.
That's
How many
true.
people are pissing in that glacier?
That's a
Well, I
great
mean,
question.
Ludacris has got to go. I mean, Ludacris.
Eventually.
I mean, is this where he gets the song "Nothing But a G" thing? Drinking out of glaciers.
Wrong.
That would have been Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, okay.
And Dre.
He normally drinks from a gangster's paradise.
The
Jim.
world's glaciers are here in Alaska. I couldn't come here, and I just have a show. The rapper, whose real name Christopher Bridges, said in a video post he shared on Instagram and Twitter, once Ludacris drinks the water, he screams, "Oh my God," scurries away from the camera. "Water's so good it tastes like God made it," he says.
I bet it's just like normal water. It's just colder because it's in ice.
Now, fans became worried. They posted, hey, it could be full of bacteria, parasites, viruses, microorganisms you definitely don't want in your system. Can make you extremely sick. Make sure to boil it first to stay safe. So he did say that he's probably not going to do it anymore, but he said it was the best water he's ever had.
Okay. Why do you have to cancel a show?
When he boils it, does he boil it in OPP, other people's pot? Nope.
Nope.
Here are the 10 greatest entertainers of all time, according to Ranker.com.
Macho Man Savage and Stevie
some of these
Wonder.
are a joke.
Yeah.
Number 10, Dolly Parton. I got no problem with Dolly Parton being on this list.
Okay. I thought you might say that was a
don't
joke.
have a
So
problem with
Dolly is okay with you?
Yep.
I mean, great person. Would you call her a top 10 entertainer, though?
I mean, she's just been doing it so long. The longevity, and for her to be able at 70 whatever to dress up as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader and not really look bad doing it.
No.
But now that I've never seen this picture straight on and this tight, I never knew that the midsection was spanked up with Spanx there.
Yeah, Dunaway is going to pick it apart, Lance.
No, I mean, she's in her 70s. She looks better than me, and I'm not in my 70s. I'm just saying it's being held in there together. Little Spanx action.
Yeah, but I mean, still, look at her legs. I mean, she's...
And trust me, if they ever make Spanx for men, I'm going to wear some.
I don't know how you can be...
Every game day.
I don't know how you can be any tighter if you're a 70... What is she?
3, I think.
Yeah, no, you cannot be any tighter.
Number 9 on the list, got no problem with this, Frank Sinatra.
I mean, not my speed, but guy had a great career, right?
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Number 8 on this list, I don't have a problem with this because he's been in so many great films and he's won a lot of awards, Tom Hanks.
Okay, I'm good with this. One of the greatest actors of our generation has played iconic role after iconic role.
Maybe a little low.
I don't know if I just don't know enough about him.
These
but
are the greatest
Wolfgang
entertainers of all time?
Amadeus Mozart. I'm sure back in the day was very entertaining.
I tell you, if I didn't have any of Mozart's music right now, I'd be just fine.
Yeah, but I wonder what it led to.
I'm sure in the 1700s it was a different story, but if...
you think there was some discotheques, everybody's dancing to it?
If my guy here had never lived, it was not going to affect my life one way or the other, but I'm a little
Okay,
older.
this is where we get into the horseshit part of the list.
Okay, is that
Number
what it says on the
6,
sheet?
yes, right here it says we are about to jump into the horseshit.
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp.
Over Mozart?
This is, according to Ranker.com, the 10 greatest entertainers of all time. I don't care what he's brought in from the Pirates franchise.
Those are pretty good, though, those two.
I don't care. He played that role really well. He does not deserve to be on this
His next best role after a Pirates role is what?
I don't know, Blow?
Yeah, see? I mean, that's the point right there. Like
Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco. Okay.
I mean, look, he's been in some good films, but there is no chance he's a top 10 entertainer of all time.
that is
I
way
disagree
over.
with number 5. I love Morgan Freeman, but he is not a top 10 entertainer of all time.
My gosh, he's been in a lot of films.
7?
Yes.
7?
Jim?
Yeah.
He's been God.
I mean, he's in 2 of
8
my
different
top 10
films, right?
films in 7 and Shawshank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
But still.
He's on this list ahead of the last guy.
I give you ahead of the last guy.
Here's the problem, real quick, though. Here's the problem is Morgan, all too often, is supporting actor.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really play the lead in a ton of movies, you know?
No. Number 4 on this list, I don't have a problem with this, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Now, he's a lot for a lot of people.
But he was very entertaining. That's
Yeah, unbelievable as a comedian.
Yeah.
A lot of energy. Number 3 on the list, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that's a little high.
He was a great front man. I just wonder if Freddie Mercury was still alive, if we would have him on this list.
Yeah. I mean, not even a top 3 band of all time. How could it be a top 3 entertainer of all time?
His best moment was at Wembley in '84, right?
Probably, or at least his most iconic. Number 2 on the list, I got no problem with this, Elvis Presley.
Okay. Yeah. Women loved him.
Is that actually Elvis, or is that the dude or is that the Austin
That's
Butler?
Austin Butler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's not Elvis.
It's Austin Butler.
I think it's the guy with 5,000 miles from Graceland. I think it's that guy.
That was Kurt Russell.
That's not Kurt Russell?
I mean, it could be.
It could be.
And finally, number 1 on the list, boy, we just continue to give this guy a pass, Michael Jackson.
And this is the greatest entertainers of all time?
Yeah. I mean, he was a great entertainer.
But he didn't act.
Yeah, I was never a big fan.
He was in, what was it, Moonwalker?
Yeah.
Is that the Michael Jackson
He was in
movie?
The Wiz.
He acted
Wiz,
some.
Yeah. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, our friends at Mortgage Right want to remind you, if you are in the home buying market right now, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call that Birmingham office, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Pick 3 song and our picks coming up. Don't forget to go to nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Play the pick 3. You have until game day on Saturday to play your picks. LT, Dr. B has got your hair looking really good for the picking.
Dr. B helping me out, helping Brown out right now. If you're starting to thin out, you know somebody that's thinning out, be a good friend. Tell them about it. Be preemptive. I had no idea until we started to do what we do right here on this platform. I noticed I was thinning out on the crown. Went to see Dr. B. My hair has more than doubled in thickness sickness since that moment. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and his great staff today. Schedule the consultation. Tell them the Next Round sent you. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Follow LT on Twitter at @thelancetaylor.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
We may go a little over, Tyler. May go a little over. So don't worry about firing that thing off at 12 noon. Just a few seconds. If it doesn't time up exactly, don't worry about it. No big deal.
You'll be hearing this Monday, Dunaway. You'll be like, wow, we went over.
Ready for the first time to do our Pick 3 this year. And if you are new to the show, and some of you are from around the country, we appreciate you joining us. The Pick 3 we've done for years and years and years and years and years. 2-1 is good, but you got to go 3-0 to get a ball in the bucket. 3-0 to get a ball in the bucket. You go to our website, the only place to play it. No calls, no emails, no tweets. You have to go officially to nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Buffalo Wild Wings brings it to you. You click on it. You have drop boxes there, and pick the games that you want to play. And that's all explained to you there. thanks to our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings wants to remind you, if you're looking for a place to watch all of the game action, not only tomorrow, but Sunday, coming up NFL this week, stop by one of those 11 Central Alabama locations, including the Buffalo Wild Wings Go location in Vestavia, #1 sports bar in Birmingham for over 20 years, wall-to-wall TVs. Most locations are remodeled, 26 sauces, seasonings, along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, and salads. Get on all weekend long and check out Buffalo Wild Wings.
You want to go first?
I can. And we're going to do the song?
Pass him the stick. We are going to do the song. I
got to hold the Bud Light stick when I do it?
Yeah.
All right.
Pass the Bud Light stick.
It's a new tradition. The Jules Shillelagh.
Let's hit the song.
Pick three, it's time for the pick three. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick 3.
Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, a chance to pass the old Bud Light stick around and fade me at the end. I'll save my picks for the end.
Hey, can I give you a stat on Penn State?
You can do whatever you want because we're already going overtime.
From Brett McMurphy at Stadium. How's this fit you, Lance? Penn State, when favored by at least a touchdown, which they are Saturday, has won 24 consecutive games under James Franklin. A remarkable 19-4-1 as well against the spread.
Wow.
He is so good in these situations.
He really is.
He's so bad in the other ones, but he's so good in this one. I'm staying away from that game for that reason. I am taking Clemson plus 12.5. I think a late score gets inside the number 4, the Tigers. UNLV plus 2.5. We talked about how that is a sharp play right now against Houston. UNLV plus 2.5. And Troy hosts Nevada, who I think they're gonna let SMU beat them twice. The emotion of that game last week, come back across country, Troy minus 9.5. Those are my 3.
I like it. I'm opposite of you on one.
Crap.
Seth says Jim is the Usain Bolt of the Bud Light stick relay. I'll get it last.
I am going to take, we saw North Dakota State play within the number last night. South Dakota State is a better team. I think Oklahoma State is really, really good. But I'll take the 9.5 there. Ohio State, I mean, I'm basically giving up 3 quarters here. I'm going to lay the 50.5.
You're laying
against
the 50.
Akron.
There's a sucker out there that'll take the other side. I saw him last night in the mirror.
And then Miami of Ohio, I am taking plus the 3.5. Dave Braun, great story last year at Northwestern. I think Miami of Ohio is going to be really good this year, though.
Pass me the stick. Okay, get your pencils out. Here's your chance to fade Dunaway.
Get them pencils out.
Fade Dunaway. Fade Dunaway.
Logos and all.
I'm going to go Virginia Tech minus the 13.5 at Vandy. Clark Lee tries to shorten the game, but the Hokies get out of there with a 2-touchdown, 14-point lead. I have flipped around because of the poor performances of the ACC. Georgia minus 12.5. That number's dropped, but when I wrote this down, it was 12.5.
It's back up to 12, so I went 12.5.
12.5 for Clemson as they play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And then Gata. Or is it Gata? She always tells me I say it wrong.
Well, it's after Gata.
Gata. Get after that academics, as she likes to say it. Georgia Southern plus the 13.5 against Boise State. Some people's sexy pick.
Do you need them? You need them all?
I probably do need the points.
Okay. Right.
I'm just trying to win.
Yeah.
But it would make me happy if Georgia Southern. It dawned on me when I got to Virginia Tech, and more importantly when I got to Georgia Southern, those new markers can't get here faster.
Yes, they're on the way.
I'm losing some color. So there's your plays from us, our pick 3. You go play the game right now and try to go 3-0. All right, Tyler, that's the show today. nextroundlive.com to play the pick 3 all the way up to kickoff. 9 a.m. tomorrow Central Time. We'll do our pregame show, all 3 of us, and then postgame shows everywhere at thebarnauburn.com. For over an hour, Taylor Korn's been live on thebarnauburn.com.
How about that?
I don't know if she's in the premium content room or outside of a paywall. I don't know. And then covercrimson.com. Clinton Lamb, Emily Grace McWhorter will be at the game for us. Follow us on social media for all the day's contents. Until next time, God bless you and God bless the United States of America.